Boar's Head is bringing a slice of Japan to the deli. Introducing Boar's Head Ichiban Teriyaki-style chicken. Tender, slow-roasted chicken breast, coated in our signature teriyaki glaze, where ginger, garlic, and a hint of brown sugar meet for a flavor that's both sweet and savory. New Boar's Head Ichiban Teriyaki-style chicken. The bold flavor of Japan. Now at the deli. Only from Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.
Blog Talk Radio.
Here we go. Blast off.
This is True Capitalist Radio. True Capitalist Radio.
I am your host, the man they call Ghost.
The badass of business.
Give him capitalism or give him death.
That's it. Period.
Broadcasting from his Skyline office studios in beautiful downtown Austin, Texas.
You sound fruitier than a box of Fruit Loops, for Christ's sake.
And now, he'll take it from here. Your host, the prognosticator of prognosticators, the man they call Ghost.
Oh, man, what's going on, folks? Thank you for tuning in with me to another edition of True Capitalist Radio. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. This is episode number 70 for all the folks that are keeping track with the program. And let me tell you something right now. If you didn't tune into yesterday's broadcast, it was a little bit wild, to say the least. And I have to say that the mixture, I guess, of intoxicants or whatever the case might be, just didn't agree with me very well. Because let me tell you something. I puked up something nasty, to say the least. Oh, yeah, are you kidding me? Puked up something nasty, for Christ's sake, and, haven't been feeling too good, but still coming in to the office, still coming in here and, doing what I have to do in the markets front, still doing the broadcasts. As we look at the markets, for Christ's sake, the markets did well, so everything's all good, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, let me go ahead and open up a beer here. It's going to be my first beer because... I haven't really been drinking because I haven't been feeling too good. And like I said, yesterday's broadcast, episode number 69, it was the infamous 420 episode. And, we did a lot of crazy things. I mean, I felt like I was a goddamn 16-year-old teenager at a slumber party bringing over Dad's stash. You know what I'm saying? I mean, seriously, man, that's how I felt. I felt like some... a little juvenile, getting away with, some kind of a old tomfoolery behind the old man's back, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not joking. And, if it sounds like I don't sound like myself, there's a reason for it, all right? I mean, there's a reason for it, for Christ's sake, because, I'm just completely out of it. I'm even questioning on whether I even should have partaken in exposing myself to tetrahydrocannabinol on top of alcoholic beverages. And on top of which, here in the office, they put a note in my inbox stating that I can't burn anything or... if you're going to have any documents, please send them to the shredder box, which is located here. And that was really unfortunate. Anyway, let me get some sense. Let me knock some sense. Let me slap myself in the face here. Damn it! I'm going to slap myself in the goddamn face here because I'm a little out of it, folks. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm feeling a little flush. You know what I mean? I got some bubbling going on in the tummy, you know what I'm saying, from yesterday's broadcast, but we're going to continue going. Let me go ahead and open up a can of beer here. And, of course, we're opening up a Miller High Life, and, when we were broadcasting during Black History Month, I don't know whether it was because it was Black History Month or not, But as I broadcasted, they were actually putting a black model on the cans of beer before they put some white blonde-headed bimbo, on the beer. As a matter of fact, down here in Texas, where I'm from, I'm down here in Austin, Texas, for all the folks that don't know. Down here in Texas, they actually call Miller High Lifes Wetas. Yeah, that's what they call them down here in the Mexican areas of Texas. We got a lot of Mexicans walking around out here in Texas, so they like to call these things Wetas. And the reason was because there was a blonde bimbo on the can. Now, it's no longer a white bimbo. It's no longer a black bimbo. It's like the proverbial advertising quintessential ambiguous raced bimbo. She kind of looks a little of the black persuasion. She looks a little bit of the Puerto Rican, maybe a little bit of Islander in there, maybe a little Oriental, maybe a little bit of, Samoan, but who cares? I'm not really looking after the bimbo and the beer. I'm after the beer itself. And once again, I know this is not one of the greatest beers in the world to be connoisseuring into the beverage of hops, but I always am reminded whenever I'm tasting a Miller High Life, that blue-collar worker spirit. My dad used to drink Miller High Life, and he was a bad man. He worked like a goddamn dog, and, after working about 12, 15 hours a day, he'd come home after a day's work, throw on the primitive black and white tube, and then crack himself open a Miller High Life. And, like I said, my dad didn't really know how to go to sleep. He knew how to pass out. Let's put it that way. See, you know what I'm saying? Because he was working 15 hours a day out here, so, his body was on, automation. And, he couldn't settle himself down after work, and, he would have to crack open these quintessential Wetas, to use my vernacular of my Latino brethren. He would crack open a Weta and, just pass out, literally. And then little Ghost over here, little kid Ghost, he's a little rebel. I've always been a rebel. Anybody who listens to me know I'm a goddamn rebel. I got balls the size of grapefruit, for Christ's sake. I'd go, when Pops was asleep, I'd go and sneak a brewski. And I remember cracking, one of these brewskis open. I'd make sure like I was in a goddamn bathroom and made sure that the shower curtains were over and had a damn pillow, just all kinds of stuff. And I would get the goddamn can. All right, I'd get it and I'd crack it open, Oh, man, you hear that? And then I would think I would be doing something like adult, right? I think I'd be like, yeah, look at me, I'm a little kid. I got hair on my nuts. Yeah, look at me. And then I remember taking a swig of this beer. And I remember being so disgusted as a kid when, taking a sip of this beer. I remember being so disgusted, just, literally gagging. I couldn't get the taste out of my mouth, for Christ's sake. But it's funny how childhood memories linger within the subconscious. And even though I don't think Miller High Life is a very good tasting beer, because I am a connoisseur of sorts, folks, it's somewhat of a nostalgic, personal, internal reminder of, the evolution of one's family tree, so to speak. My dad was a hard worker. Like I said, 15 hours a day, he'd come home. He'd crack himself open some beers, for Christ's sake, and he didn't know how to go to sleep. He just knew how to pass out, and, God rest his soul. But anyway, I didn't mean to talk about my dad, folks. I'm just trying to tell you why I'm drinking such a cheap-ass beer, all right? So, anyway, now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the market, shall we? It was a good day on the market, and let me tell you, I had said this last week when we were taking negative numbers in the markets that all we needed to see was some positive numbers, specifically Apple computers. We saw Intel a couple of days ago, great numbers. We just needed to see some of these positive numbers to get the market as a whole to go on the plus side. And if you look in the last week's archives, you'll see that I basically just, that's what I did. I said it, prognosticator of prognosticators strikes again. Anyway, let's go over the markets real quick so we can take some calls and talk about other subject matters. Dow Jones Industrials closes out today at 12,506, baby. Yeah, let me repeat that again. 12,506 points. The Dow Jones Industrial closes out today. Let me tell you, are we flirting with 13,000 or what? Anyway, it increased today 52.45 points, a percentage increase of 0.42%. S&P 500 closed out on the plus side also, closing out today at 1,337.38, an increase of 7.02 points, a percentage increase of 0.53%. NASDAQ, taking another increase also, as with all the markets today in the equities. It closes out today at the 2,820 point mark, increasing today at 17.65 points, a percentage increase of 0.63%. So once again, folks, we're starting to see the market bulls take control of the market again, and I don't know, what to really make of this. I know that this is all a lot of hyper-sensationalization, a lot of impulsive investor buying out here. And once again, I tell y'all, look at the damn volume in today's markets. Very, very low volume. Very dangerous. All we need is some bad news to hit the markets, and you're going to see the market drop like a rock. And that's what's really scary about all this low volume, to be completely honest with you. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're a day trader, you're a shorter, you're an options trader, you're somebody who trades in the futures markets, if you take short plays, that sort of thing, this is your market. The volatility is unbelievable in this market. But once again, folks, once the impulsive buying wears itself thin, once you start seeing these damn investors start pulling back a little bit, where are they going to fall back on? They're going to fall back on companies that are proven commodities, that have the profits, that have demand, and that's what we saw with Intel. Intel wasn't very appreciated by the market until these earnings came out for Intel recently. And let me tell you, I've always said that Intel is a great stock, not to mention that it's a blue chip, and it would be accepted by any financial institution for collateral, not to mention that you can go ahead and collect dividends on that stock, on top of which collect an appreciation. You understand? Collect an appreciation on that stock. So unbelievable, baby. And that's just the way it is. Anyway, you saw so much plus side on the equities market. You would think that there would be some kind of a decrease on the commodities, right? Fundamental investors would think this, right? Well, wrong. We need to throw fundamental investing out the window once again. There is no consistency with investing any longer. None whatsoever. Let's get to commodities, shall we? Brent crude oil closed out today on an increase of 14 cents, percentage increase of 0.11%, closing out today at $123.99 for a barrel of Brent crude oil. Gasoline futures are down. Let's keep them coming down. How about that? But it's not going to be down for long. Let me tell you that right now. But let's keep them coming down. They're down $2.25, a percentage decrease of 0.22%. Heating oil futures are also down $2.04, percentage decrease of 0.63%. Natural gas, what the hell is going on with natural gas, man? I haven't been able to partake in these plays because I really don't trade natural gas very much. But, man, for the past 3 days, we have seen dramatic spikes in natural gas futures. I don't know what the hell's going on, for Christ's sake. I don't know if T. Boone Pickens is showing his ugly, billionaire face, trying to act like Mr. Green Man, when, you and I know that all this billionaire wants is his investments in the natural gas markets to be subsidized by the government so that they can set up some infrastructure so that natural gas could be a viable alternative. But either way, I think that, I wish I would have known what was going on in the natural gas plays. It's spiking dramatically. It's up 10 cents today. Up 10 cents in the natural gas market, a percentage increase of 2.51%. 2.5%. Didn't we just see 3% increase either yesterday or the day before yesterday? I mean, it's just unbelievable increases in the natural gas. And let me tell you, I really wish I'd been confident enough to know that that was going to happen. But once again, you can't win them all, folks. Anyway, WTI sweet crude, once again, the commodity that everybody should be focused on, whether you're in the markets or not. You should be focused on WTI sweet crude, and the reason is because our economy depends on it, you ass clowns. Do you understand? Our economy depends on it, and we need to get that damn WTI sweet crude oil lowered. Now, I know Obama today is trying to tout that, I don't know, he was in Los Angeles somewhere. I don't know. He's in some fundraiser, doing fundraising activities, trying to stump for his reelection campaign. Well, and part of this rhetoric that he put out was the fact that he is going to put another commission. Another commission so that he and this commission can investigate whether or not there's any kind of, crude oil price gouging or gas price gouging or anything of that nature. It's just, Jesus Christ. I mean, how's this job little commission that the president appointed, how's that working out? Besides giving GE zero taxes to pay, how is that working out for America? Jesus Christ. But anyway, Brent crude oil, folks, is up 88 cents today. The price of Brent crude per barrel is $112.33. That's right, $112.33. I mean, we need to see this goddamn barrel of oil come down to at least $99 and lower. But we're not going to see it. And even if we do at this point in time, I think it's far too gone. I think it's far too late. We're approaching the summer months. I don't foresee any kind of a steep downhill on the futures of Brent crude anytime soon whatsoever. Anytime soon. So it's unfortunate, but it's just the way it is. And, like I said, if you're a capitalist, you're going to have to step your game up, son. Not only are you going to have to earn cash, but the cash that you earn, you're going to have to cut back on all your amenities, take that cash and flip it, and keep flipping it. And that's the only way you're going to stay ahead of the game and maintain your lifestyle. I'm not joking around. This is just the way it is. WTI sweet crude, which is the crude oil that we consume here in America, dictates the success of our economy. Remember, everything from the machines that run the means of production to the trucks that deliver the goods to the retail outlets to everything is dependent upon this particular commodity. Unbelievable. Anyway, folks, let's continue on, shall we? Agricultural futures, canola futures are up $5.50, a percentage increase of 0.94%. Cocoa futures are seeing a sell-off after dramatic spikes, even though Laurent Gbagbo in the Ivory Coast was captured, and we figured that, the Ivory Coast would be, somewhat in transition and getting its act together, but no. There's a lot of bad blood. There was a lot of killing, a lot of butchering, a lot of, situations happening out there in Ivory Coast. And to be honest with you, the Ivory Coast hasn't even planted its crops. Its rain season beginning out there is where they have, that's what makes it such a unique geographic location for some of the crops that it produces, because it rains for a certain particular part of the season out here, and it naturally waters these crops, particularly the crop of cocoa. They are the world's leader in producing cocoa, so I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, we're already at shortages of everything else because of emerging markets, high demand, a lot of factors. So, that's really concerning to me. Anyway, coffee futures, after steep spikes throughout the week, going into last week, we're finally starting to see sell-offs there. They're down $4.90, a percentage decrease of 1.64%. Corn futures are up after yesterday's sell-off. They're up $4, an increase of 0.54%. Cotton is also modestly up after yesterday's sell-off. They're up 45 cents, a percentage increase of 0.27%. Wheat futures are up too. Notice everything that we eat, everything that's edible is going up, for Christ's sake. Anyway, wheat futures are up $14, a percentage increase of 1.71%. All right. Soybean futures are up. They are up $20.50, a percentage increase of 1.50%. And lumber, oh my God, lumber continues to go down, 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 down. Let me tell you, I'm thinking about building a house, for Christ's sake. I mean, the lumber price is this low. I'm thinking about selling my badass high-rise condominium I got here in Austin, Texas. Thinking about selling this son of a bitch while it's the market's still hot. Not to mention that I think that interest rates are going to raise here in about 9 to 12 months, and there's a variety of different factors on why I believe that's going to happen. So, it behooves anybody who wants to be a potential homeowner to move at this point in time, get enough capital generated so that you can put a sufficient down payment and make sure that your finances are in order so you can be able to capitalize on, low interest rates, because I'm telling you, it's only economic reality that's going to move us in a direction where the Federal Reserve is going to put interest rates, I'm guessing, anywhere 15, 20, 25% range. And believe it or not, if you're going to have to be taking out a loan, these are the type of rates that you're going to have to be, integrating into your bottom line as a businessman out here. And there's a lot of different factors for that, but, I'm thinking about just go ahead, putting this on the market out here, probably selling it by the summertime. Hopefully the lumber prices don't take a goddamn spike or anything like that. Go out there and take advantage of these low lumber futures, low lumber costs. Go out there, build my own goddamn house in a piece of land somewhere. What concerns me, though, is that we're having wildfires out here in Texas, and these wildfires are jeopardizing the integrity of a lot of rural land out here. We're having one of the worst droughts we've ever had in, 100 years. Excuse my French. I mean, it's a pretty bad drought over here. While everybody in the South is getting, plundered with twisters and softball-sized hailstorms, we can't get a damn, couple of tinkles from the sky so that we can somehow saturate the ground and prevent these goddamn fire starters out here in Texas from starting fires throughout the goddamn state. I mean, seriously. But anyway, the reason I got off on that tirade is because lumber's down, man. It's been down. We've been reporting it's been going down. $7.20 it's down today, a percentage decrease of 2.81%. And let me tell you something. If you want to be super dad or super mom, what you should do is take advantage of these low prices in lumber and build your kid a goddamn tree house or build, a little princess castle in the backyard. Do something, all right? I'm sick and tired of these parents that try to say, oh, I'm a good parent. I bought my kid a PlayStation 3. I bought him Grand Theft Auto. I bought him, Why don't you pay attention to the kid, huh? You shit it out of your uterus pipe, and you dump it in front of some goddamn electronic widget or a violent video game or a damn Hollywood-based movie, and then you wonder why the kid turns out to be some warped, sexual deviant, no conscious having mutant. It's no coincidence. Why don't you go out there and just goddamn have some time, take some time to spend some time with the kid. Anyway, sorry. I'm just, I'm broken. Every time when I see these kids out here, they're out here late at night, with the pants sagging down below their asses and the sideways hats, and they're out here causing trouble. It breaks my heart, for Christ's sake. I don't want to see that crap. I want to see them like I used to. You remember that? Remember the old kids? They used to play ball. Remember that? Hey, I'm gonna go play ball with Billy. That's what I'm gonna go play ball, man. I'm playing ball. What are they doing now? Huh? They're going to their friends' houses, blazing up Billy blunts and inviting, loosey 14, 15-year-old whore bags to work their Johnsons. All right? I'm not joking, folks. This is the reality of what the youth of today is having to go through out here. And what's unfortunate is that is the cusp of the social pipeline. You understand? I mean, if you want to be cool, you have to partake in this ridiculous activity because, MTV
said that we have to do it. So, I got to sit here and look like some third-rate jag-off. And, yeah, look at me, I'm down, I'm coming straight out of Compton. Yeah, shut up.
Anyway, sorry, folks. Didn't mean to get off on that tirade, man. Let me move on with the markets here. Soybean oil futures are up 12 cents. Oat futures have, it's flattened out today. No change today in oil. Oat futures, excuse me. Soybean oil are up. Soybean oil futures are up 12 cents. And wool futures are also flat. Now, let's get to the metals, shall we? I hate to toot my own goddamn horn here, but I've been telling everybody, ever since the beginning of this broadcast, ever since I have been broadcasting that, look, even if you don't know anything about the stock market, even if you don't know anything about business, even if you're just going out there and working your tail off, the very least you could do is accumulate gold and silver in some fashion, and make sure that you put, you have to pay below market price to make some profits out here. And I have made advice available on this show by telling people untraditional ways to obtain gold and silver, one of which is the pawn shop. That's right, the pawn shop. And I know that there are people calling up saying, oh, I don't want to go to a pawn shop. Are you kidding me? I'm above a pawn shop. I don't go in there with those peasants and buy, anything with those arseholes there. I don't do that. I don't do that whatsoever. Well, you know what? You should have been doing it. You should have been doing it back in January when gold took a dip down to about, $12.90 something. You should have bought in by that time. You should have bought into silver when it was in its low 30s. You should have bought in, folks, because let me tell you something. If you would have just went to the pawn shop, gathered up some, the best price you can of all the gold and all the silver you can get back in January and February, you know that you'd be up on your money higher than some of these stocks out here in the equities market. I kid you not. First of all, let's get to copper, shall we? I know that people were concerned about the sell-offs in copper, but once again, it's back! That's right, it's up $4.10 today, an increase of almost 1%, 0.94% today is the increase. Now let's get to gold, baby. Oh man, what did I tell you? Once it goes over 1,500, it ain't gonna look back, baby. It ain't looking back, and it still isn't looking back. We got gold today increasing $6.40, a percentage increase of 0.43% in the his house. All right, closing out today at $1,505.30 a troy ounce. Are you kidding me, for Christ's sake? $1,505.30 per troy ounce, for Christ's sake, man. If you would have just listened to us back in January, accumulated some gold back then, you'd be up a couple of $100 on your goddamn money just right now. Right now. You know it and I know it. If you would have just listened to us. If you'd have just listened to us and said, hey, look, Ghost does have a point. There is a lot of accumulation in gold. I mean, every time I look on the news channel, you see all these ass clowns peddling all this gold. Gold this, gold bars, gold stock, gold this, gold that. Well, of course there's an accumulation. Not to mention, there is a inflation happening on the dollar, folks. As a matter of fact, we're about to hit all-time lows on the dollar. We'll talk about that later. But, the reason that our dollar is depleting is because of the fact of our incompetent government that continues to spend money in our name and deplete the buying power of our dollar. So by default, just by the devaluing of the dollar, by default, gold and silver are going to increase. Gold and silver are going to increase. All right? And that's exactly what's happening. And not to mention, we got the market bulls in control of gold and silver, man. It is a bubble, and I know that people are concerned about being involved with the bubble, but once again, I think that this bubble is good for at least a year and a half, 2 years, and if you don't want to listen to me, just take a look at us that are making all this money on this goddamn stuff. I mean, it doesn't matter how you're making plays, whether you're accumulating physical gold, playing the stocks, whether it's through mining, whether it's refining, whether it's jewelry distributors, whatever the case might be, or if it's ETFs. ETFs is another way to make a good play on some of these increases. But either way, I strongly advise you to at least make it a small percentage of your portfolio, folks, because, I mean, there's just so many gains happening here. All right, now we already talked about gold closing out today at $1,505.30 per troy ounce. Let's talk a little bit about silver. You know, I was talking about silver yesterday, and people were like, "Oh, Ghost, you know, it's going to fall back." It increased like 3% yesterday. People were like, "Oh, it's not gonna continue on. There's no way." And you know, meh. Well, you take a look at silver's price today, there, you milky liquor. All right, you take a look at silver's price today. It closed out up on the upside. $2.10 it increased today. $2.10 it increased. A percentage increase of, get this, just on today, a percentage increase of 4.73%. 4.73% today on silver. I'm telling y'all should have listened to me. I know that you probably listened to some blowhard asshole on one of these dumbass business channels saying, "Oh, I don't know about gold. I think I would rather go into the bond market." Yeah, the bond market. It's always a secure investment. Oh, yeah. We're in the midst of a potential bond crisis out here, and these people are still sitting over here pumping and dumping this shit. It's unbelievable. Excuse my French, by the way. I know I'm cursing, but I usually curse when I'm upset when I see something or hear something obnoxious. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, good Lord. But I hope that you listen. And for all you folks that are like, "Oh, you didn't say that, Ghost. You didn't go out there and advise people." Why don't you look on my blog, ghostpolitics.blogspot.com. And not to mention, look back in the archive, folks, and all the past episodes, blogtalkradio.com/ghost. Excuse the slip up there, for Christ's sake. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sitting over here, I'm doing 80 different things at once, for Christ's sake, and, well, you know how the internet is. I'm sitting over here looking for news. You got some bimbo, you know, trying to advertise at a pop-up saying, "Hey, look at me, I've got something over here for you, $4.99. So anyway, 646-652-4869. Silver today closes out $46.58 per troy ounce. Can you believe that? What did I say? $50 is going to come by real quick. I mean, actually coming by quicker than I anticipated, but, you know, hey, welcome to America, you know. Well, welcome to the financial market that we're in, this helter-skelter market. But anyway, folks, I'm still bullish on this. I mean, I think that we may see some dips here. I mean, there's a lot of gathering, a lot of accumulation here in the silver and gold market, but I'm still bullish on this for the next year and a half. I mean, I don't see our government, first of all, cutting back on spending and actually bringing back value into the American dollar. You know when we're going to bring back value into the American dollar? When the interest rates go up the ass. When it's going to cost you 25% interest to take out a loan in America. And that's the only time it's going to come back, because that's how the Federal Reserve recalls a lot of these outstanding treasury notes. You know, when you keep printing and printing money, how the hell do you get all that treasury note stuff back? Now, that's something that the economics teacher doesn't tell you idiots. You know, it gets it back by upping the interest rates and gathering up all those notes and kind of putting it back into the the treasury, or putting it back into the fund of the Federal Reserve, and less notes are outstanding in America, and as a result, the value of the dollar comes back because of the scarcity of the dollar. I mean, you know, it's just simple fractional reserve banking, for Christ's sake. You know, but what's making it difficult for the Federal Reserve to dictate, or not dictate, but to set monetary policy, because if the Federal Reserve was to dictate monetary policy, we wouldn't be here. You know, we wouldn't be here. We would be a little bit more, in a fiscal, responsible era of American history if that was the case. But no, we're at the whim of the public servants, quote unquote, that we elect into office here, that are supposed to be having our best interests in hand. Instead, they're blowing our money. You know, they're blowing our money on entitlements. They're blowing our money on corporate welfare. They're blowing our capital. It's disgusting. It's sick. It's pathetic. You know, and we just keep electing them. You know, we just keep electing these scumbags like, oh, he's got a good smile. He's got nice teeth. I want to have a beer with this bastard. I'm going to vote for him. Yeah, I'm going to have a beer for this son of a bitch. So, you know, I'm going to vote for this guy. Anyway, sorry, folks. I didn't mean to, you know, go off keister there. Let's get through with the livestock futures, and we'll move on. Live cattle futures. Jesus Christ, I'm always stumbling over my own tongue whenever I'm reading the livestock futures. It's like Peter Packer, pick a pecker. You know? Anyway, live cattle futures are up, or actually they're down, excuse me, Jesus Christ, they're down. They're down $1.02 today, a decrease of 0.88%. Cattle feeder futures are down also, $1.82, a percentage decrease of 1.32%. And lean hog futures are also selling off. You know that everybody's taking advantage of these gains in the gold and silver markets and in the equities market, so they're going to sell off on gains that they've been taking here in the livestock. Lean hog are down $1.20, and that's the markets for your ass, folks. I mean, you know, I don't know how to Anyway, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me right now. You know, this is an episode of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. Before we move on, I would like for everybody to please, if you could, retweet the broadcast. All right, retweet the broadcast and send everybody to blogtalkradio.com/ghost, or better yet, we have these little options here, a little window that you see that it has the little player for the show if you're listening in live, or even in the archive. Use and abuse those little buttons, like the little Twitter buttons and little Facebook buttons and all that stuff. It's really easy. I mean, it's just a freaking click. It's just a freaking click, for Christ's sake. So don't be a lazy ass clown. You know, hook a brother up. You know what I mean? Hook a brother up is all I got to say. And let everybody know that we're in effect in the house, and spread it around. Spread it around like wildfire. Anyway, let me take a sip of the beer, and I want to go over the True Capitalist portfolio for a second, because let me tell you something. I mean, we've been gaining hard in the True Capitalist portfolio. Got some good beer there. Really good beer. Anyway, I want to go back to the healthcare stocks that I was bullish on February 18th, 2011. The first one I want to talk about that we were bullish on, AGP, Amerigroup, which is a health insurer that deals with the POW in America and, you know, all these assholes that want hover-rounds and all this other crap. I mean, hey, if you can't get rid of it, you might as well profit off it. You know what I'm talking about? Anyway, Amerigroup, symbol AGP, when we were bullish on it on February 18th, the price of the stock was $55.85. All right, now, today it increased $1.31 in price, a percentage increase today of 2.06%. Today's price, folks, today's price is $64.94. If you would have listened to us on February 18th and purchased, around the purchase price of $55.85 or somewhere around there, and you would have held on to it up to this point, you would be up 16.28% on your goddamn money, baby. Woo! That's what I'm saying, man. I mean, that's what I'm talking about here. 16.28%. Good God. Anyway, we were up 40% on Coke, but Coke has been taking some dives. You knew they were going to take some dives, for Christ's sake. I mean, it's gone way beyond the year target price. But we're still holding on to it. Remember, I'm a long-term investor. Everything that I put into the True Capitalist portfolio is a long-term investment, and at the end of the year, we're going to calculate and see how we're doing. You know what I mean? That's how firms do it. That's how the mutual fund managers do it. That's how all these ass clowns do it, and that's how we're going to do it. But Coke, 2 weeks ago, we were up 40%. It's taken some sell-offs. We were bullish on Coke, symbol COKE. We were bullish on it February 4th at $53.16. Believe it or not, it went as high as $75 and change. Like I said, we were up, 40-something% on our money there. And believe me, if you would have sold off at that price, man, the taxes, baby. The taxes be killing you, baby. But still, Coke today closed out, even though it was down 89 cents, it closed out today at $70.73. If you'd have listened to us, you'd still be up 33.05% on your money. You know what I mean? You'd still be up. Another big winner, Dell Computer. What have I been saying about Dell Computer? You know, people call me up, hey, what's another good stock, Ghost? I mean, you know, I just sold off from my Coke stock. What else should I get into? Dell Computer. I mean, you know, I still think that Dell Computer is way undervalued. I think that, you know, at least I hope, I mean, for the sake of Austin, Texas, Michael Dell comes up with a decent computing device out of his ass. So that, you know, basically put Apple's dominance, you know, in its place. Because HP is making a horrible attempt at trying. I know that BlackBerry with its RIM, what is it called? The Galaxy, whatever the hell it's called. It's ridiculous. Or no, whatever the hell, that stupid new little touch screen that's based off cloud computing that's, you know, according to reports, vulnerable. Whatever. I mean, I think that Dell Computer is undervalued, man. I mean, you know, there's a lot of loyalty to Dell, especially in this town. And I see still upside. I think that, you know, when we were bullish on it on February 16th, the price was $14.02. And I thought that was way undervalued. And I was right. Today it closed out at $15.27. If you'd have listened to us back then and kept it to now, you'd be up 8.92% on your goddamn money right there, baby. Almost 9%. Now, let me go to another healthcare stock that we were bullish on. It's called HealthSpring, symbol HS. February 18th, we were bullish on this stock. February 18th, we put it into the True Capitalist portfolio at $34.15. And today, it increased to $1.45, a percentage increase of 3.75% today alone. And let me tell you something, folks. If you'd have listened to us on February 18th and got in on this stock and held it to now, you would be up 17.57% on your goddamn money, baby. Woo! The closeout price for symbol HS is $40.15. I mean, good God. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Good God. Anyway, I know everybody's getting tired of like, yeah, we know, Ghost, you're the prognosticator or prognosticator. Well, I'm just saying. I just want to reiterate what's going on here. All right, not to mention, well, you know, we don't even have to mention. Just forget about it. We'll move on to another subject matter. I don't mean to be tooting my own horn here, but Anyway, let's move on to another subject matter. Once again, I do want to reiterate that the whole reason why we're having a helter-skelter market and you're seeing gains, not just in the equities market, but also in commodities, we have a weak dollar. The weak dollar is affecting everything. That's why you're seeing rises in commodities. That's why you're seeing rises in food prices when you go to the supermarket. That's why you're seeing rises at the gas pump. Our politicians are depleting the buying power of our dollar. I kid you not. They're depleting it. They're ripping it apart. It doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum that you sit on. These people are not doing anything economically conducive for our country to prosper, and it's pathetic. And that's why I do this broadcast, because that's what I want. I want prosperity. I don't want, this dependent, going to a goddamn bread line, getting government cheese, food card, cash for clunkers and cash for crap. I don't want, and I'm going to reiterate this again and again and again until my last breath, I do not want to continue to sit here in this current American situation where people are begging. They look like they're begging for loaves of bread. They're sitting over here saying, please, baby, come on, man. Come on, government. I need money, baby. You're not understanding. My kids, baby. My kids. I need cash. I don't care where you get it from, baby. I don't care where it come from, man. I mean, once again, junkyard America, baby. It's what we're in. This is what this, oh yeah. We're in junkyard America. Welcome to junkyard America. We got bread lines, we got food stamps, we got food cards, we got everything for your kids. Yeah. This is it. This is America, the new junkyard America that we're living in here. We're supposed to just accept this as capitalist. You know what I mean? We just have to accept this crap. Like, oh yeah, it's just, we're junkyard America now. Thanks, And not to mention that a lot of the reason why our dollar is devaluing is because we're now in 4 wars. Do you understand this? 4 wars that, first of all, nobody is giving us any money back for. Secondly, we're flipping the tab. And not to mention that we're losing a whole bunch of lives. We're having a bunch of Americans come back with just complete and utter trauma, to say the least. Missing limbs, missing arms, disfigurement in the face. And yet we can't figure out, a lot of the reason why our dollar is devalued, a lot of the reasons why we're having commodity increases, a lot of the reasons why we're having is because of the fact that we're continuously spending money on all this crap. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable what's going on here in America, folks. And let me tell you, this is why I'm saying the American people, the general American public sucks, all right? And this is why I'm saying that the American public does not deserve the right to vote. All right? The general American masses do not deserve the right to vote. You know who deserves the right to vote? Capitalists. All right? And I'm going to say it, and I'm going to continue to say it, a prerequisite before you go into that goddamn voting booth should be a tax form or a copy of a damn W-2 or some kind of a tax form showing that you actually paid taxes into the system that you're voting for. All right? That you're actually funding this. All right? That you're actually funding what's going on here. That should be the damn prerequisite for voting. But no, what do we got going on here? We got people, everybody and their schmuck brother, even assholes that are mooching off of our society. In some states, they're allowing criminals to vote now. You know that? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You did time in prison, baby? Is that right? No, it's okay, baby. You can vote, baby. You can vote. Yeah, you know all about the deficit, right, baby? You know all about the debt ceiling and all that, right? You know all about the Medicaid. You know what's all about. Yeah, you go ahead and vote up in there, man. Yeah. This is it. This is the America. This is the garbage that we're living in. This is garbage junkyard America. You know what I'm talking about? And we got a weak dollar, and us American people, especially the capitalists, we gotta face up to this. We better hedge whatever we're making here in America. We better hedge it so that whatever we make today will continue to sustain itself tomorrow. You cannot just keep this money in the bank and think that, hey, if I just save my money in the bank, it's going to be okay. It's not going to be okay, folks. I'm not trying to be a hyper-sensationalist, but if you just throw your goddamn money in the bank and think that everything's going to be okay, it's not going to be okay. All right? The interest rate that the bank gives you isn't even covering half of the inflation that's happening. Not even half. So, by default, you're losing money by keeping your goddamn cash in the bank. You're better off by doing anything. There's so many things that you can hedge your money against. And I know it's a shame, but this is our country, and this is America, and this is the government that we have here. So, thanks, government. Yeah, thanks. We appreciate it. Anyway, speaking of government, our president, he's been out there in the West Coast, probably chilling with Suge Knight and Death Row Records entourage or something. He's been out there. He paid Facebook a visit yesterday while we were celebrating 420. He paid Facebook a visit, and stupid, goofy-looking Mark Zuckerberg and his disgusting, greedy ass, sitting there, trying to, look like nonchalant, liberal San Francisco yuppie larva, just kind of sitting around with their goddamn Abercrombie Fitch shirts and their stupid, ridiculous ties, and just like having a chat, after having a game of bocce ball or something. But anyway, he's continuing. All right. He's continuing on his little West Coast tour, old Obama, and he actually told a group of supporters that are paying $38,000 a head, believe it or not. I think that's what the report was, $38,000 a head to get up in there and have lunch and hear Obama speak. He actually told these people in his stump speech, for this re-election and this fundraiser, he was saying, change turned out to be a lot tougher than we expected. And, I hope that you and everybody else understands that. And, please vote for me again, 2012, baby. I'm serious. He actually said this to a group of supporters that paid $38,000 a head to get into the damn event, for Christ's sake. I mean, what the hell were they serving, I mean, can somebody call me up and let me know what the hell they were serving at this event? $38,000 a head, for Christ's sake. I mean, they better have been serving some badass crap. I mean, they better have been, at least, peak year Cristal as the libation, going around in general. There had to have been, give me some, beautifully aged Angus beef or, some prime rib going on. Yeah, I don't mean to be racial by saying prime rib or rib meat or anything like that. Come on, don't go there, all right? I don't know. Anyway, 646-652-4869 is the number to call. Just got done covering the markets. We're talking about Barack Obama's West Coast tour. He's out there, West Side, baby, West Side, trying to get them to, the base rallied up, trying to get the money raised, put some more money in his campaign contribution account. I mean, last time, what did he put? $500, $600 million in his campaign contribution account last time? More than any president. Now he's reported that he could possibly get $1 billion. He'll be the first $1 billion candidate. The first candidate to raise $1 billion. Now, you've got to be an utter buffoon if you think that Barack Obama is spending all that money on campaign advertising and, campaigning and that sort of thing. Remember, he's got Air Force One, He's got, and during the campaign in 2008, he had people donating jets to him. I mean, that's what they do. That's what you do as a politician. So I could just only speculate how much is in this man's bank account. Because, let me tell you, if anybody's going to try to make you believe that, Ghost, he spent all the $600 million in 2008 on advertising. It costs a lot of money to advertise. Yeah, I know it costs a lot of money, but if it costs $600 million, that's right. He made $600 million on the campaign in 2008. If it costs $600 million to do a year's worth of advertising, and many of the advertising outlets are paid for by these little, whatever, 420 groups or whatever the hell they're called. Well, I know they're not 420 groups, but you know what I'm talking about. Those little groups that come out here and say, Barack Obama is Arab or, these stupid, they called McCain a traitor, these assholes. Those groups, I mean, you get these groups basically paying for advertising. So where's the money going? I'll tell you where it's going. It's staying in Barack Obama's bank account, just like every other scumbag in Washington. All right? This is not exclusive to our president. This is what business as usual in Washington is. These scumbags accumulate millions and millions of dollars in these campaign contribution accounts. Doesn't matter what side of the perspective, folks, left-wing, right-wing, Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative, all these scumbags in Washington are soulless cash whores. That's what they are. They tell us one thing as a constituency and go out and do something completely different. And what's unfortunate is that we don't have a competent electorate. We don't have a competent masses of people that can actually go into the voting booth and elect competent people that are actually not only going to be public servants, but say what or do what they're going to say. I mean, do what they say, for Christ's sake, and not just sit here and do a completely 180. I mean, it's stupid. It makes me sick, man. And people are just accepting this, for Christ's sake. Anyway, let's take some calls here. 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. Area code 727. You're on the air.
Go.
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Hey, Facebook. I mean, Facebook. Facebook is almost single-handedly responsible for our stinking recession. If you think about it, years ago, I mean, people only have so many hours in a week to spend on recreation time, right? They got to work, they got to take care of the kids, they got to sleep. They only have a certain fixed amount of time to recreate, okay? And for the last 2 years, people have been recreating, staring at their Facebook page, not spending a nickel where they used to spend that money on going to the movies or going to the bar or going wherever. And
that's a good point. Good point.
That consumption is gone. People can recreate for nothing now. They don't have to spend money to recreate. Even a stupid cell phone you get for free when you sign the contract. You get a free phone, and somebody's going to say, well, the technology of the cell phone industry's been in addition to spending. No, it hasn't, because a lot of these people are canceling their landlines now. So that's no addition. All this.
These are great economic observations, man. Because believe it or not, this is what you're describing here. People staying home and not spending their money as exuberantly on their extracurricular activities is the reason why we're having these cooked numbers of economic data. That's why we're seeing, companies, these multinationals that are diversified, that not only rely on brick mortar but also have an internet model that are actually conquering and being on top. I mean, unfortunately, you're absolutely correct. When people are just sitting on their fat asses and, being on Facebook. As a matter of fact, did you know that Facebook's the number one reason why people are getting divorced now?
No, I guarantee you that. Hey, what about somebody will say, well, look at all the ad revenue, Facebook. Look at all the money they're making. Yeah, they're stealing all the ad revenue that used to go to newspapers, which have been shut down, and the guy who used to actually work in the printing press of the newspaper don't have a job. Okay, so that money there is that's money. There ain't no new advertising. There's a fixed amount of advertising. So all the advertisers have shut down magazines and print and newspapers and have gone over to Facebook. You don't think any jobs were lost over that?
No, I know there was, man. I mean, yeah, and let me tell you, this is why, the consumer needs to start thinking a little bit better. I always say that where you spend your money is a political statement, and how you spend your time is basically going to judge, how you're going to interpret legislation and policy making. And to me, this is why Barack Obama is going into Facebook, because he knows, whether he knows it because he's a slickster or he's got advisors, that this is the new America. People sitting on their fat asses, going out into Facebook and literally spending hours upon hours. And it's not just an American phenomenon. I've been reading reports out of Korea, out of Asia, of people that are literally on the Internet so much because they can only go through Internet Cafe or something of that nature. I mean, there's some of these countries that actually don't have free computers. And they've neglected their child and starved them to death. I mean, I read of one couple that was so addicted to some stupid game. Believe it or not, the internet game that was based out of this Internet Cafe had something to do with a multiplayer baby game where you take care of a virtual baby and you feed it and you play games and you obtain points and food for it or some crap like that. Meanwhile, they had a real baby at home starving to death and dying, and it died, for Christ's sake, because they were so addicted to this crap. I mean, it's a lot like what's going on here in America. These people just don't care about anything anymore. They don't care about their own lives. Their own lives are Facebook. They are the Internet. Now, don't get me wrong, the Internet's great. But, what is it? 1 out of 4 relationships are now started on the Internet, and that damn number's climbing. Facebook is the number one reason why people are getting divorced, why people are cheating. I mean, this is just getting way out of hand, and you're absolutely right. I go to the bars. It's not as plentiful as it used to be. But go ahead.
It doesn't. Yeah, I mean, people don't go out for coffee. They don't go out for a movie anymore. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, but listen, when everybody is spending all their time doing free activities, if you don't think that's going to have shift the consumption curve and have long-term effects, I mean, the people are nuts. I mean, and you pay. I mean, you don't have to buy a $15 CD no more. You just buy $1 for a song or two, and now you've got all these new artists that are just, you've got all these amateur artists and amateur movies you don't have to pay anything for. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. It's great for the consumer, but for the economy, there's a huge consumption gap that's getting built up here. Not to mention the baby boomers are going from spending age of their life to saving age and penny pinching age. And as that demographic shifts, that's another huge consumption bubble that's going to disappear.
Absolutely, and these are issues that we've been trying to address in the most simplistic form possible, because these are complex economic issues that nobody's talking about. I mean, this is why our economy is dwindling and in kind of a limbo, because we don't know where we're going. We don't know whether we're going into a full-fledged tech economy, which I don't think we are. I mean, we are backwards when it comes to that regard. I mean, if we were in a tech economy, our apartments and our houses would be automated, and we'd be able to say illuminate, and the damn house would go up, and our houses would talk to us, would have our food made for us. But no, we're not. We are a technocratic, and we're beginning to be a third world society. And I hate to say that, but a technocratic third world society.
And we live for the day. We don't live long term anymore. We live for the freebies. We live for the day. And if you look at some of the categories that have declined over the last 20, 30, actually, I think the last 10 years it has been, nobody buys furniture anymore. Look at the furniture sales number. Nobody buys. Remember when, I don't know how old you are, but when I was growing up, I mean, you had an end table, and you paid a lot of money for it, and you took care of it, and it was a big deal, that wooden end table, and it got passed to somebody. It was an important piece of furniture. Now everybody just buys cheap crap at Walmart. Nobody invests money in furniture anymore. Nobody invests money in hard assets, furniture, or even houses. I mean, the housing market's tanked. It's going to be a long time before people just decide it's not worth it. They're just going to rent for life. People want to buy hairdos and their nails and pedicures and a $1 iPhone app. That's what people want to pay. They want to buy what they need for today and nothing else for the future.
And you're absolutely right about that, man. If you ever go just kind of scouring around MySpaces and Facebooks and look at these pictures of people in their apartments, they have nothing. I mean, literally, there's a mattress on the floor and there's clothes piled on top of each other as if that's the substitution for dressers. I mean, they've got a TV hanging and maybe a couch that they probably got off freebies and Craigslist. And, maybe some kind of makeshift I mean, very limited. You're absolutely right. There is no hard assets. These people are living for the day. Not only that, they are just completely at the whim of, these trends. It's no longer individual living. It's the trend. It's, I'm going to get this new app. I'm going to get this new piece of furniture, that sort of thing. Go ahead.
Right. And they're not pursuing money. They're not pursuing riches. They're content with living like that because they've got everything on their computer and in their head. They get their satisfaction through a virtual game with another person. They get their satisfaction with a post here or a post there. They get their satisfaction with a text here. They're getting their accomplishments in life are no longer what they were 30 or 40 years ago. They're not actually achieving anything. I mean, it's similar to getting a tattoo. I mean, you just go out, you pay money for it, and then you walk around and you get attention like you accomplished something, but you didn't really do anything. You just paid for somebody to put a tattoo on you. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with nose rings and everything else. I mean, it's not an accomplishment. But you get attention like you accomplished something. And that's what these folks are perfectly content living like poor people and not worrying about long-term assets and long-term valuables and family heirlooms and all that other stuff that my grandfather and they worked their butt off for generations to pass on a house or to pass on a nice nice furniture. I mean, people used to, you have to save up forever to get nice furniture. Nobody cares.
Yeah, they used to handcraft it, man. It used to be made by craftsmen, not machines,
Right. So there's a huge concern. And Facebook, I mean, all he did was steal a bunch of jobs from the rest of America and give them to 80% of his company there, the bunch of, you know what they are.
Let me tell you, I'll be the first one to say it. I'm going to be the first one to say it here. Facebook is nothing more than a political private wing of the liberal regime, in my personal opinion. And the reason I'm saying that is because it's no coincidence that I'm not just exclusively picking Facebook. I'm also saying Google and all these stupid tech companies and GE and GM, all these idiots that are out here in bed with our government. These people are nothing more than doing our government's bidding, and it's no coincidence that, we had this uprising that started in a major fashion. Of course, we knew it started in Tunisia, but it started in major form in Egypt, and it's no coincidence that the person that started it was some executive from Google utilizing Facebook to manipulate a primitive masses into doing what it's doing, and as a result, we have more and more unrest spread throughout the Middle East. It has justified, believe it or not, Barack Obama, supposed peace president, Nobel Peace Prize winner, so on and so forth. This skirmish has justified him to increase spending in the military-industrial complex and continue wars that we can't even afford to, continue funding at this point in time. So as a result, this is why all of a sudden Barack Obama is starting to, make people on the left a little nervous in the pants, because he's starting to negotiate with the right-wingers on cutting spending. Of course, all the cutting is purely cosmetic. If we really wanted to cut, we'd stop these wars, or we would go to, get paid back by the people that we liberated, but nobody wants to talk about that, and the only person talking about that is Donald Trump, and they think he's nuts. So, that's why I'm saying, we're in a bad situation here, and the only thing that's going to remedy this situation is a competent electorate. And I don't see, the American people enlightening themselves with any kind of osmosis-based intellectual curiosity. I think that us as the capitalists, we have to put our money where our mouth is and be ready to get the hell out of the country if this country is going to continue and giving us backhands to the backs of our faces. Because I'm not trying to be anti-American here, but it seems to me that, the people that are more important in this country are either dirt poor, loser American pieces of waste of human life, or these, and I'm not even talking about elitists in the sense of rich people. I'm talking about the people that have merged with government. I mean, this is starting to look a lot like China, where,
Right.
the billionaires are going to be the government, and the government employees, the people that own the companies, are going to be the government. And this is a bad, bad sign for capitalists, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, man, and hoping somebody out there, I know that there's a lot of dumb assholes in this world, but some people with intellectual curiosity realize what's going on here is wrong, and we've got to stand up and, start, fighting for our authority, because we're the ones that bankroll this whole world.
You're absolutely right. And the best thing you can do for anybody right now, if you want to improve the electorate in this country, forget buying somebody a copy of Atlas Shrugged. Teach them how to read a chart pattern on a stock. That would be the best thing you could do for America right now.
Yeah, no kidding. And what's really unfortunate is that the government has taken that away from the people, putting, limits on them. Who's going to be able to have 50,000 on hand to start pattern trading? Besides... that's what I'm saying. Go ahead.
I weekly, I pattern trade options, and you can't flip them as fast because it takes longer. So I guess I'm not a day trader, but I'm a week trader, and I flipped. I was 3 for 3 this week on my options, but it takes usually more than a day because you got an option price that moves by nickels and dimes. It don't move by pennies. So by nature, it usually takes you more than a day overnight to get to the position where you're in the money. So that's one alternative. People learn option trading, and you can accrue as much money as a day trader who has to go through dozens and dozens of trades each day, because you can't do dozens of trades each day. You can only do 3. And by the way, how come there's not a limit on scratch-off tickets when I go to the store? Why don't they have 3 scratch-off ticket limit to these folks when I'm trying to get my gallon of milk for my kids?
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I'll tell you why, because that is a quasi-private/public enterprise that, I'm telling you, man, once private enterprise merges with public enterprise, they create the law. And, when they create the law, then, it makes us as potential prosperous, entrepreneurist individuals at arm's length from potential success, because these idiots are throwing roadblocks in our faces. And it makes me sick.
I got to run, Ghost.
No problem, man. Thanks for
Take
calling
care.
up.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Take it easy, man. Anyway, that was, I think that's Eminem Montgomery on the Capitalist Army, man. Thanks for calling up. He's a member of the Capitalist Army. And, of course, folks, if you're listening in, please go to www.capitalistarmy.com, all right? Capitalistarmy.com and join the exclusive social network that is meant exclusively for capitalists. All right? www.capitalistarmy.com. Anyway, let's continue on, shall we? Anyway, I want to thank him for tuning in and calling up. I want to hear from you, 646-652-4869. We were talking about Barack Obama on the stump. He's out there trying to campaign for his 2012 re-election. He's in his West Coast tour. West Side! So we're going to see, how that works out. And in the speech, in the speech, we actually heard him say in one of these stub speeches that, well, change turned out to be a lot tougher than expected. Oh, really? I mean, give me a break. I don't want to hear this crap. Don't fall for this nonsense. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do not fall for this crap. I'm telling you this right now. Don't fall for this crap that, change was hard and we had to do this and we had to do that. The liberal regime had complete and total control for 2 years. And what did they do? They bailed out GE. They bailed out GM. They bailed out Goldman Sachs. They bailed out Wall Street. They bailed out AIG. They bailed out the financial industry. They bailed out everybody except the American people. But you know who did get, an increase? The Poe in America, huh? Oh, y'all want some money, baby? Here's 20% increase on your food card, baby. Yeah. Great. Unfreaking believable. Anyway, the only change that he made was the change that's left in your pocket from all the inflation and lack of jobs that are happening in this country. Anyway, let's continue on. Anyway, Amazon.com, this is an interesting report for all the internet peeps. Amazon.com actually had its data center go down and left a whole bunch of popular websites who utilized the data center of Amazon.com as a backbone for their services. There was a lot of services down today. I don't know if you are familiar with some of the services that may have been down, but they were down. And, this kind of, puts a question on whether or not, if Amazon.com can't keep up services of web space providing, well, then how secure is the Internet, for Christ's sake? I mean, there's a lot of websites that were hit up by this, so-called little data center event. Amazon.com and of course they have no comment. Of course they have, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Don't worry about it. It's just, we're all right. We're over here. Okay? We're all right. Meanwhile, all the people that are paying all this money to be on this goddamn data center backbone, they're losing their ass. All right? They're losing their ass out here. I wonder if Amazon.com, old Jeff Bezos over there, is going to give, some of these people like Foursquare and Reddit, seriously, these types of internet service use Amazon.com's backbone. So are they going to give, are you going to give them any kind of a backup, or are you going to give them any kind of a, refund or something? Anyway. 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. Anyway, I know that Jeff Bezos really is trying to take Amazon.com in this new direction of having data centers and, leasing the space off of their data center. And believe me, I think that's the thing of the future, believe it or not. I think Jeff Bezos is onto something, but God damn it. It looks like you've got your fingers in too many pies there, Bezos. You don't want to look like a chump and have your goddamn, data center go down because a couple of idiots threw a denial of service attack or whatever the hell's happening. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like your proverbial zombie-based, zombie chain-based, denial of service attack. You know what I mean? Give me a break. Let me take a swig of this beer, for Christ's sake. Very good stuff. Very good stuff. Anyway, let's move on to another subject matter. I know that I put, the Amazon.com outage as a main subject matter, but you know what? I really don't care about Amazon.com. I don't care about these multinational conglomerates, all right? I mean, this is supposed to be the Internet, This is supposed to be the Internet where everybody has the opportunity out here, but you know what they have turned the American people, and now they're turning the entire world, into these zombie-like characters that take their commands from the computer screen via suggested ideas, via a social network, a game, a conversation, an advertisement. I mean, it's pathetic. So, hey, Amazon.com, step your game up and step your chain up, for Christ's sake. The hell you doing? All right. I mean, let me tell you something. If I had some data on your little data center and my website was down, I would be, getting my pimp hand strong on Jeff Bezos. That's all I got to say. All right. That's all I got to say about that. Anyway, let's continue on, shall we? Anyway, anti-government protesters in Syria, and for you folks that are a part of the capitalist army, I blogged about Syria recently. And I have a clip on there where it shows Syrian secret police shooting at protesters that are doing nothing more than standing in the street and protesting. They're unarmed. They're not acting like a bunch of mindless Yehudis like in Egypt. They're just out there, hey, we don't like Assad. We don't want Bashar al-Assad dictating to us anymore, all right? He was bequeathed the country by his daddy, and we don't want him, all right? Well, today, and let me tell you, even though Bashar al-Assad has lifted the, 48-year emergency rule on the country, he's still shooting people in the streets in Syria. I mean, there's still people dying every single day in Syria. And the anti-government protesters today put out a report, or actually put out a statement that they're going to organize the largest protest to date tomorrow. All right? Tomorrow. That's right. Tomorrow is going to be one of the biggest protests in Syria to date. And let me tell you, if they're able to pull off this organization out here in Syria, if they're able to pull off one of these big organizational rallies, I guarantee you, you're going to see a lot of killing out there, a lot of murder. I mean, the police and the authorities are shooting into crowds that aren't really that big. I mean, they're kind of large, nothing in the comparison of what we're used to seeing when it comes to real political rallies. There's a lot of scared people out there. I mean, they're shooting people dead in the street, for Christ's sake, like a bunch of dead dogs or something. Well, they're going to organize this humongous protest, and, I'd be interested in seeing on whether or not there's going to be mass amounts of murder. And I'm talking mass amounts, like Tiananmen Square numbers. And let me tell you, al-Assad is not BSing around. He is not only shooting innocent civilians in the street of Syria, he's also shooting his own soldiers that refuse to shoot civilians. I mean, I don't mean to laugh at that, but the balls of this despot, totalitarian asshole. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the balls of this asshole. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. And, of course, we've got a humanitarian situation in Libya. Oh, yeah. Oh. I mean, give me a break, man. How is the Libyan situation a humanitarian situation when these guys had weapons to fight back? All right? Meanwhile, in the Iranian Revolution of 2009, when you had people that wanted democracy and capitalism, and I reported it on True Conservative Radio when this show used to be called that. You can look back in the archive in December 2009 and January 2010. I was talking about this. I was saying that we should be going out there supporting the democratic movement in Iran so that they can overthrow the Ayatollah, so they can overthrow Ahmadinejad, because like I have said, if the internal domestic unrest of Iran would have toppled the Ayatollah, none of this crap would have happened, I think. You understand? You wouldn't have an agitator to this type of situation. That's what Iran is turning out to be within this Middle East uprising, is an agitator. I mean, they have quashed their domestic unrest since then because they have killed everybody that was an organizer to the protests in 2009 and the revolution of 2009. They have taken their families, executed their families, executed them. They're not messing around. The secret police has taken control out there in Iran and rounded up anybody and everybody who participated in this event, and they're dead. I mean, I was personally in correspondence with the resistance in Iran, or a certain faction of the resistance. The correspondence was completely broken. I have yet to hear from anybody that I used to talk to in Iran. And I hate to think that, you know, their lives are possibly no longer existing because all they wanted was to get this, ridiculous, hypocritical, theocratical piece of garbage, the Ayatollah, out. Just get them the hell out of here. We don't want you. So, I don't know. I mean, we got Syria here once again. The anti-government protesters are vowing. They are vowing to have the biggest protest to date. And, I'm kind of looking forward to it. I mean, I hope that there is not mass amounts of murder, but it's good to see a despotic piece of power-hungry totalitarian crap fall because nobody wants him in power anymore. It's just like a crying baby. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to play with. He's like, everybody wants to play ball, and they don't want to play with this asshole because he's a jerk. So he's trying to screw up the game for everybody else. You know what I mean? He's trying to, flatten the ball, or he's trying to, make, tell the person that owns the property that you're playing ball on. He's one of those assholes. Bashar al-Assad, man, give me a break. You're a real piece of trash. You know that? Seriously, you are a real piece of trash, Bashar al-Assad. You can tell him I said that too. All right. I mean, I remember when they were trying to tout this idiot as some kind of a reformer. A reformer for what? I mean, what kind of a reformer is going to kill innocent people? All right, kill innocent people that are doing nothing but just standing in the streets, yelling, "Hey, we don't like you. Hey, you suck." I mean, who cares? All right. I mean, that's the part of being a political figure there, al-Assad. All right. Maybe, just maybe, you should, have a little bit better policy. Maybe you should go out there and do something that, can make your people justify in their heads that, maybe we should, follow this guy. But no, you're killing not only innocent people protesting, but you're killing soldiers that refuse to kill innocent people. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? Oh man, I bet you al-Assad, I bet you he thinks his balls are so big every time he kills innocent people. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, I mean, it's just horrible. It's horrible. Let me open up another beer here before I get depressed here. You know what I'm saying? Sure. There you go. Anyway, after yesterday's show, folks, I mean, I got completely trashed. Because I was under the influence of, several intoxicants there, and I don't know what it was, but I literally puked my guts out late in the evening last evening, and it didn't really feel too good. Didn't really appreciate it. Don't know why that happened. I don't know if it was the mixture of intoxicants or whatever the case might be, but pretty bad. It was a pretty bad situation. Anyway, I want to hear from you, man. 646-652-4869 is the number to call. And not to mention that, hey, follow me on Twitter, ass clowns, all right? I mean, follow me on Twitter. I hate the fact that, I got people that follow me on Twitter, then I, throw a couple of controversial tweets up, and they're ashamed about it, or it's like they're, they don't want anybody knowing that, they're following somebody that's talking like this or something, and they take me off their goddamn list. I don't appreciate it. Follow me on Twitter, for Christ's sake. Ghost Politics is the name to follow, all right? You milky-licking piece of nipple-clamp-loving, butt-plug-up-the-ass-looking, ashamed of ghost-having trash. Ghost politics, all one word, no underscores, you milky lickers. Anyway, Syria, the anti-government protesters in Syria, we're talking about them, talking about how they're trying to organize one of the biggest protests in Syria to date. And, I'm speculating on whether or not Bashar al-Assad is going to have a mass slaughtering of his own people during this particular little protest. I mean, seriously, remember, he's only shooting into small crowds of people that are gathering up. I mean, just imagine when these crowds become massive, when they become unbelievably massive. I mean, is he going to sit there and just start, killing people in the middle of the streets in like thousands, in the quantity of thousands at a time? I mean, this is just sick, man. And for what? For what? I mean, seriously, for what? So that he can stay in power, huh? Oh, that's great, isn't it? Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. I need a break. I need a break here, but, before I get a break, I'm going to say cheers to everybody who's listening to me out there. All right, cheers to everybody. It is Thursday. All right? It is Thursday. It's like a Friday because tomorrow the markets are closed, and, if you happen to be a bureaucrat, you don't have to go to work tomorrow. If you happen to have or work for a company that obliges these types of Christian holidays, you don't have to work tomorrow. So it's kind of like a Friday, you know what I mean? I didn't want to call it Baller Friday, but it's kind of like a Friday, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I want to say cheers to everybody out here. Cheers. Let me go ahead and take a swig of this. That's what I'm talking about, baby. It's a nice, good beer. I get emails all the time from people asking me, man, Ghost, you're so intense about capitalizing, man. It's like, you just can't be stopped. You're just somebody that's all you live for. It's all you talk about. You analyze every single thing in society in economic terms. You look at trends in economic terms. You look at the way people are thinking in economic terms and how to capitalize on potential. That's what I do, man. That's what I do. But I get criticism in emails saying, why would somebody live like that? Why would somebody live thinking about, the economic situation of every particular scenario in life? I mean, why would somebody dissect everything that's around them in an economic sense and put some kind of amount of monetary value around everything or potential speculation around everything? I mean, why exactly do you do this, Ghost? And folks, I only have one answer to that question. Why do I do it? Baby, I do it for the love of the money. You understand? Oh, yeah. The love of money, baby. Gotta get on the grind. Papa the clip in my nine. Live at your Pacific and chalk it fall in the nighttime. Gotta get mine. Ain't taking the shirts of the boss and top of the phone. Call up my nigga, stand at home. Polishing the back 10 chrome. Got it this week and hit, so bring your shit. Cause once again, it's dumb. Sit it on with a sip of burn. My wig to the curb, so I swerve and roll out. To pick up the 666 thug and follow the murder for robbing the dope house. Smoke up out the bay bomb so high. Now coming to slay with 4 grenades and a gauge. I'ma play with till I'm fall in the grave. Been late, putting in the dry late. Which spot of the place and quickly rolled up. Bulldoze to the living room. Hopped out of the car and started to blow up. Fucking a kaboom. It blew all the bodies all over the room. Them doom. Ain't gotta move fast. Why the popo's coming? Match up me yummy. So niggas don't think it's funny. I'm coming up quick and not quite. Cause Flash be loving this money.
I'm giving up love to the hustlers. All them fake clipped up. Just making that money. Stand on your feet. And you better believe. Gotta have that cheap for the green leaf. Never catch me sleep. Steady on the grind. Get my stand down from a crime. And I hit up the 99. Giving up that yo. Making me say yo. 20 nickels and dimes. Hit up a stick up and lick up that 211. Gotta get what's mine and bailing. Me kicking up dust from me trailing. Failing 187. That's how it is. And I got to have it. And then not quite. Mission to check a meal and still be real. Thugging on the clock. Clock creeping on the summer. Won't sleep till I'm done up. up, hunt up another pot and skin. Gotta make some green for soldiers, nut up, what up? Gotta get that business on, even though the Buddha run me, done me feeling lovely, but I'm just in it for the love of the money. Gotta make that money, man, it's still the same now. Gotta make that money, man, that money, man, it's still the same now. Gotta make that money, man, that money, man, it's still the same now. Gotta make that money, man, that money, man, it's still the same now. Standing on the corner, straight slanging rocks. Oh shit, here comes a motherfucking cop. So I dash, I duck, and I hide behind a tree, making sure the motherfuckers don't see me. Now my fat sack of rocks, hell yeah, I stuffed them. Police on my drawers, I had to pause and yeah, it's still motherfucker. Now my game is tight, tight as fuck. It's my game, easy motherfucking E or Eric Wright, it's all the same. Now niggas might trip on how I stacks my grip. I got to have it, bitch. For the love of this shit, motherfucker. Follow me down the 9-9 and you will find all of me kind. Check out the rips, the nails, drop down, run them up out of me hood. Red flag when I'm making me grip, with them in click, rolling with road flips. That's how I big me. Put them in mud, buck them in pump blood. Got nothing to lose, bitch. You better respect rip. On your best, just check your slug, it's going down. Got it pumping 3 rounds, got it with him in gang. Bang, gotta make that money, man. It's still the same, steady running things wild. In front of me now, while I take you up into a barrel of a gun. For the W, done for the bud. I run it up on my mind. I'm in the thug game, so people be creeping, be crawling up on the mission. The back in the days when niggas was selling with solos and wanted to get paid. But it's just my style, little nigga rich, step up on that mission for money. You give up the cash, so that was your way. Cause me and my nigga was hungry. And bitch, if you're stolen, you might just catch one to the tempo and down bone. Raw dogging, some niggas just make this shit tempo and run. They catch one nigga, me fill with bullets and double me ribbon. Remember me killer now. From under me dig ya, 6 feet in the ditch and get with it, cause bitch you was slipping, I'll get you and rip ya, then bust ya down. City robbing and stealing, making a killing, niggas drug dealing, needing $1 million, hustling drugs with the thugs be chilling. For the money these niggas be selling, off and niggas when you find a nigga thugging, off and breaking skulling. And when I stick you and flick you up, remember I get on my soul to love and more. Yeah, bound in the motherfucking house for the 9 quarts, nigga. Yeah. Rolling with ruthless in this bitch. My nigga lazy bone, busy bone, wishbone, and flesh and bone. And I'm that nigga crazy bone in the motherfucking hell.
You're listening to Ghost on True Capitalist Radio. True Capitalist Radio.
For the love of the money. That's why I do it, man. That's why I do what I do. For the love of the money. That's right. That was a little bit of bone there for all the folks that are. They also, unfortunately, followed up that great album with that stupid It's 1999, that stupid album. And that's when they had the infamous welfare carol. It's the first of the month. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's the first of the month. And that's when I stopped listening to their asses because they suck. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. If you could please retweet the broadcast and send everybody over here. Remember, there are buttons there that you can press. There on your little screen, you got a little Facebook button, a little Twitter button, they got a little add this button. Whatever social network or whatever little thing you belong to, you can actually promote the show, and you'd be helping us out, man, because there is no advertising. You understand? There's no advertising. We don't advertise this show. This is purely word of mouth here, and that's why I need your help. Send people along and tell them that we're in effect in the house. Now, before we went into that break, we were talking about how the Syrian anti-government protesters are going to amass a protest that is going to be, according to them, the biggest to date tomorrow. And we're going to see what happens after this big mass anti-government protest and see if Bashar al-Assad is going to order his men to start killing these people in the thousands. And man, it's going to be a horrible situation, you know. Anyway, let me move on to another subject matter. Now, the United States is in another theater of combat, of course, Libya. That's right, we're in Libya because of quote-unquote humanitarian situations, but, I think we just covered a humanitarian situation in Syria, and yet, we're not even batting an eye. But, who's looking, right? Hey, who's looking? Who's looking? But anyway, in Libya, Robert Gates basically stated today, and Obama supported this, that we are now using Predator drones over the geographic region of Libya. I'm serious. I mean, now we've got Predator drones dedicated to this Libyan theater of combat. I mean, how much more money are we going to put into these theaters of combat? I mean, can somebody explain this to me? Well, what the hell's going on here? All right, I mean, how in the hell did we just get mixed up into this crap? Can somebody explain this? And why are the damn liberals not saying anything about this? These people that, yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can do it. Yeah, we can do it. Come on, let's get to it. You know that we can do it. Man, give me a break. Where are these liberals? Where are you at? Why exactly are you not out here promoting like, oh, well, you're not knowing what you're doing. You don't know what you're talking about, Ghost. As a matter of fact, I actually blogged about this, what was it? 2 years ago, about how after the first year of Barack Obama being in office, how and where these liberals are at. As a matter of fact, here's the link right here, folks. I'm going to put it on the chat room right now. Here's the link to the web page or the blog page right here where I post a video of all these stars before the election. In 2008, before Barack Obama actually got elected, when they were campaigning for them. All these stars pledging their undying allegiance to Barack Obama. All right, right there is the link. They're their undying allegiance to this guy. Where are those stars at now, huh? Are they promoting the fourth theater of combat that we're in? Are they promoting the continuous funding of this debacle quagmire in Afghanistan? Are they supporting drone and air attacks in Pakistan, which is, throwing the state of civility of Pakistan into question? I mean, are they supporting all this stuff? Are they supporting the bailouts and Goldman Sachs and GE? And I mean, where are you at? I see these ass clowns, these guests that keep coming in here, and they keep, coming in and dropping out. I bet you money they're liberal ass clowns that are coming in. They're like, oh, my God, he's talking about Obama. We can't be in here. Yes, we can. Yeah. Shut up! Now we've got Predator drones patrolling Libyan air skies, for Christ's sake. I mean, we can't even have Predator drones in our borders. I mean, haven't you noticed that? I mean, here we got Rick Perry, the governor of Texas here, telling the president, hey, asshole, we need some help here at this border, unless you want us to take control of it. And let me tell you, if we take control of it, then why the hell do we need the United States to begin with? You know what I mean? I mean, isn't that a fundamental aspect of federal government is to protect the sovereignty of its border? I mean, yet we're going out here deploying Predator drones, out here, hovering over Libya, and we're supposed to just be, oh, okay, don't worry about it. Oh, yeah, how much are those drones again? Oh, that's just, don't worry about it. We got plenty of money. Don't worry. Yeah, it's cool. Don't worry about it. Jesus Christ. Anyway, 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. Once again, please, spread that link around like wildfire. Right there. There's the link. Spread it around and let everybody know what happened to these stars. Huh? Now that we're in Libya, we got drones, we got ground troops now in there. We're giving these people weapons, for Christ's sake. We're giving these people weapons, for Christ's sake. And we're just fine and dandy with it. It's no problem. It's all right. Everything's gonna be all right, Ghost. You're overreacting. Yes, we can. All right. Yes, we can, and yes, we did. All right, so just deal with it. That's all there is to it. All right, all right. That's all. You know, capitalists are no longer around. We're now becoming socialist bastards, and that's all there is to it. There's nothing you can do about it. You know. And, you know, how did they become socialists? How did this government do this? By bamboozling a simplistic masses. Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, it's just sick. It really is sick what happened to this country. And, you know, I can't underscore it anymore, for Christ's sake. I just can't underscore how much it pisses me off. Anyway, once again, I hate to keep reiterating this. We now have Predator drones hovering Libya. Not to mention, folks, that this Libyan situation is now starting to get, it's starting to look a lot like Iraq. For all the people that were so critical of Iraq, it's starting to look a lot like this because now, unfortunately, we have, reports of journalists getting killed in these battles between the rebels and Muammar Gaddafi's forces. As a matter of fact, we reported that Muammar Gaddafi is not only shelling his own people, but today it came out that he's actually using cluster bombs to kill civilians, to kill innocent pockets of people, in an attempt to try to, force the will against the United States, to force the will of the people against the United States. I mean, this is just sick what's happening here, and we've got NATO saying, we can't stop the bombing, we can't stop the shelling, I'm sorry. We've got, France, Britain at odds with each other. You got these people bitching at us in America saying that we're not doing enough. It's pathetic, man. You know what I mean? It's just utterly pathetic. And George Orwell is trying to compare this to Serbia and Kosovo. I don't think so. I mean, at least in Serbia and Kosovo, the air attacks and the small amount of ground troops that we threw in there had no casualties. I mean, remember, those three guys went out and, decided to, have a ball outside of the barracks or something, and they got caught. And remember those guys with bedhead, remember they were put in front of cameras and, they were being interviewed. And then of all people, Reverend Jesse Jackson goes out there and gets these three idiots and, brings them back, and that was it. As a matter of fact, Wesley Clark, the supreme commander of that particular military theater, I think he deserves a lot of credit for being able to take that, particular ethnic cleansing situation under control. But, of course, do the Muslims remember when we stopped the Serbs? When we stopped this genocide from happening to Muslims in this region? No, they don't remember that, They don't remember that. You know what they do remember? The 4 wars we're in right now in the Middle East. That's what they remember. Jesus Christ. Let me go ahead and take a drink from this. Anyway, 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. Anyway, we've actually, not only have we got drones in the air, but once again, I hate to keep reiterating this, we've lost some major journalists out there. Tim Hetherington, excuse me. He is an Oscar-nominated director, or actually co-director, of the documentary Rest Repo. And it's about United States soldiers on an outpost in Afghanistan. Him, along with Chris Hondros, who was a photojournalist for Getty Images. They were both killed in this little skirmish that was happening in Misrata, and it's a Libyan city where a lot of this fighting is transpiring. Misrata, Libya. And both of these guys, unfortunately, got pretty. I mean, the descriptions on what happened to these poor guys is just unbelievable, and it's unfortunate that it's getting this dangerous now, where even hardcore, hardline reporters that are used to going into places like Afghanistan, that are used to going into places like Iraq, they're getting killed out here. And this just goes to show you what kind of a serious little military theater confrontation we're in in Libya. This is a very serious military theater. I mean, Muammar Gaddafi, remember, he is an oil-rich country. This guy was able to buy airplanes and buy bombs and buy guns and basically modernize his country fairly easily because he was able to sell oil on the world market. So this guy has weapons, and he's utilizing these weapons not necessarily to fight the troops and the rebels necessarily. He's using them to kill his own people so that, you know, his own people will turn against the United States and fall back in line with Gaddafi's rule. And what's unfortunate is that you can't protect all civilians in a situation like this. Civilians are everywhere. They're living everywhere. So if you try to protect one city, you know, Muammar Gaddafi just sent some damn shellings or, you know, send some airplanes and some cluster bombs and bomb another city. It's really unbelievable. And, you know, two reporters, and I'm talking, these were hardline reporters, man. These weren't just, you know, some chumps. You know, I'm talking these Anderson Cooper ass clowns that, you know, oh yeah, we're in Afghanistan. This guy's like in the back bunker of the barracks in Afghanistan or something. No, these guys were out there, you know, in the midst of exchanged fire and, you know, the whole 9 yards, getting these photographs, getting the images, and, you know, it's unfortunate that, you know, the military theater is getting so dangerous that hardline guys like this who know the war front, who've seen exchanges firsthand, are getting killed. You know, they're getting killed out here. So once again, you know, I want to say RIP to and whatever their politics were, whatever they were doing. I mean, you know, you're out there, you're covering this. We need people out there covering this. We need people out there covering wars and covering these types of activities so that we can show the realization of what these decisions are doing to real people. We need this because if we didn't have these guys out here, who the hell knows what the government would be telling us? Who the hell knows what the military would be admitting to? So Tim Hetherington, like I said, a co-director of a documentary that was Oscar-nominated, Rest Repo, and Chris Hondros, photojournalist of Getty Images, you know, killed in Libya, covering this supposed Libyan humanitarian situation, when it seems a lot like, to me, a horrific war. I mean, it seems like a horrific civil war that not only the United States is caught in, but we put ourselves in some kind of intertwined, institutional, international-based quagmire where nobody wants to take responsibility for this. Everybody was really gung-ho to going into Libya and saying, yeah, we're going to go in, no-fly zone, no this. NATO was like, oh, yes, we can go in there, and the French were in and the English. Now nobody wants to take, lead role in this. Nobody wants to do what Bush did, in Iraq and Afghanistan. I hate to say it. Nobody wants to do that. And now they're trying to look at us as Americans, and trying to, say, hey, it's time for you guys to take over and, help these, these camel-riding assholes out here in the sandbox over here. That's what you got to do. And why do you think we're deploying drones now, huh? I mean, we reported, 3, 4, 5 shows ago? We reported that the Brits and the English and NATO, they were all criticizing the United States for not doing enough. When it was under the assumption of the Secretary of State that this is going to be an international front. We're going to work with this bureaucratic institution like NATO, and everything's going to be great, and it's not great. On the contrary, us being there seems like we're causing more and more death of innocent people. And you see, that's what Gaddafi wants. Gaddafi wants that. Gaddafi wants to kill all these people so that people are forced to, join his side against NATO opposition or rebel opposition. And, of course, the rebels, they're still pissing and moaning. I mean, have you heard these rebels? I mean, every day it's another excuse from these rebels. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing enough. They're not doing enough. We can't fight your war for you, for Christ's sake, man. I mean, good God. And not to mention, have we just forgotten that, the people in this region, the supposed rebels, the agitators of, military revolution with Gaddafi, have links with Al-Qaeda? I mean, have we just, forgotten this? Have we just forgotten this stuff, and, we're just kind of throwing it on the back burner? The State Department's little, terrorist group for Eastern Libya, it's just, I don't know. I don't know. But luckily, and I'm glad somebody brought it up here in the chat room, we actually have a rebel here on the horn from Libya, actually wanting to talk. Because look, I know I'm criticizing the rebels, and I know they're fighting, they're doing a lot of things here, but we actually have him on the horn, and we're going to go ahead and bring him on. We've got Hakeem. Hakeem, are you there, sir? Are you there?
That's right, I am here. You motherfucker Americans better start tracking us up out there in Libya. We are going to overthrow Muammar Gaddafi, and once we do that, we are going to implement our own caliphate. You dumb motherfucker American, you told us you were going to back us up. We are not backing us up. You're not giving us weapons. You're not training us in military strategy. You're not doing nothing. You do fucking nothing. We're sitting here fanning our balls, not doing, with the Russian weapons. We're waiting for the American people so they can do something to us. They do nothing. They do nothing for us out here. So we give ourselves to Allah. That's what we do. We give ourselves to Allah. That's right, Allah. You need to realize you're American people. You think you're backing up somebody that wants the freedom. We want the caliphate. We want to implement the caliphate of Muhammad. And we are going to implement it, and we are going to do it fast. American people better give us the weapons. You American people better keep bombing the Muammar Gaddafi, because we are going to take over. And you better realize that all you dumb motherfuckers, American fat piece of shit. Alright? You've got the money, you put it out of your pocket, and you'll help us. You'll help us for the name of Allah! You'll help us for Allah! I have nothing else to say for your American kids. You're better put up or shut up. We are sitting here dying. Muammar Gaddafi is killing our families. And we need weapons. We want mustard gas. We want nuclear weapons. You understand that? You have to give us nuclear weapons so we can beat the Muammar Gaddafi. We must get a nuclear uranium yellow cake so that we can go out and destroy the Muammar Gaddafi.
Okay, I think he's done now. Anyway, that was the rebel fraction from Libya. And, as you can see, the rebels, they just want us to continue to give them weapons, continue to give them firepower. They want us to fight their battles for them, folks. And not to mention that, now that we're in here, we've got, people covering this and they're dying. We got photojournalists dying. We got documentary makers dying. This is just disgusting, man. I want to hear from you. What do you got to say, all right? 646-652-4869 is the number to call. This is some serious stuff here, man. We're in 4 military fronts. The United States is involved in 4 military fronts. And can we afford this, given the fact that we can't even come to an agreement on whether we're going to raise the goddamn debt limit? I don't know. Anyway, let's take some calls here. Area code 541, you're on the air.
I just wanted to say your show fucking sucked, and Howard Stern's show is a lot better.
Oh, yeah? Is that what you're going to say? Huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say, right? You fucking fag.
Keep saying that little voice. Let's hear your little voice. You sound like you want somebody's toolbox.
My little voice? You're listen to your fucking voice, you fucking fag.
Huh?
I mean, just give me a break. Give me a break, all right? As a matter of fact, you know what? Son? We're just gonna go ahead and hold on. Where's the goddamn pen? We're gonna take down his number, and he's going into the potential callback section. Yeah, that's right, boy. That's right, huh? All right, here we go. Let's go ahead. We got his number right here. And hopefully when we call, we may not call today. We may call someday when he's not expecting. We'll talk to his mama. Because you know that fruit bowl's living with his mammy. You know what I'm talking about? And I can't wait to talk to that slut, you know? I mean, seriously, I want to talk to the disgusting, pathetic, uterus-infected prostitute that shitted that fruity-ass bastard out of her uterus pipe. And I'm telling you right now, we will get a mother. Not no father. Not no father. No. We're going to have some fruit bowl mother. As a matter of fact, let's call him back right now just to see what's going on here. How about that, huh? How about we give him a goddamn call? Yeah. All right, let's see what he's doing here.
What's up, Ghost?
Hey, what's going on, man? Well, it sounds like, like 3 or 4 jerk-offs over there. There's like 3 or 4 jerk-offs over there. Is that what you're doing over there?
Yeah, I'm jerking off to your fucking ugly-ass voice, you fucking fag.
Are you actually saying that with that voice, for Christ's sake? I mean, look, just tell us the truth.
Yeah, I'm actually saying that. Are you actually saying that,
tell us the truth. You were
fag?
just raised by your mom, right? Just admit it. You were just raised by your mom, right?
At least I know how to get pussy, you fucking fag.
No. Answer the question. Your stupid whore mother who couldn't keep your father happy, you know, who couldn't cook or clean. That's probably why she's not there at the present time. You were just raised by that stupid skank. Just admit it. Huh?
I just said yes. Are you gonna fucking listen?
Oh, yeah, look at him. He's a single mother parent. Oh, I feel bad for this kid now. I feel bad. I tell you what. Why don't you give me your father's number? Why don't you give me your father's number right now? What is it?
You mad? Okay, 555. 555.
Oh,
Do you need a pen?
Stupid
Do you need a pen? Do you need a pen?
Give me a break. Let me tell you something. I want you to give me your father's telephone number because I want to tell him what type of fruity-ass, Boy George-sounding, pathetically pink team-sounding ass clown crap popped out of his nutsack. All right, that's what I want to know. And as a matter of fact, is this your home phone or is this your cell phone? Is this your home phone or cell phone?
Cell phone.
It's your cell phone?
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. We're going to make you very popular, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Do you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a butt buddy or something?
I have a boyfriend. Can you call him too? He's possibly busy right now.
He's possibly busy right now, huh?
Yeah. He's a fucking gigolo down at the Walmart nearby. So you might be busy.
You can't even come up with a joke, man. How old are you anyway? You can't even come up with a joke.
You want to call him? Hang on.
Are you a teenager? Are you a freaking teenager?
No, I'm not a teenager. You?
Are you a teenager? Answer the question.
Are you?
No, hell no, I'm not a goddamn teenager. Are you a teenager?
I'm like a teenager. Throw some fucking bag. Throw some fucking.
Yeah, this stupid idiot. All right, you know what? I'm gonna pass around his number out here in Austin, Texas. All right, and see how he likes it, for Christ's sake. But you see, this is what we get out here in America, folks. All right, this is what we get out here in America. Fruit bowls that aren't afraid to say,
"Yeah, I was just raised by my mom. So what, asshole?"
And then they wonder, why they sound like they just popped out of the anal passage of George Michael servicing glory holes in a shit stall somewhere. I mean, this is why. Listen to them. They're raised by their mammies, all right? Their mammies, what are they doing? They're dumping them off in front of a damn violent video game or a boob tube or some kind of goddamn electronic widget. And this is how these idiots come out. This is what they do. This is how they turn out to be, right here. Some sick-ass fruit bowl admitting that...
I'm a fruit bowl, and, I got a gigolo, and...
It's a waste of life right there, but this is the youth. I mean, these are the same youth that are getting pregnant so they can become subjects on a goddamn show on MTV. You understand? I mean, this is what we have out here, for Christ's sake. I mean, he couldn't even conjure up a complete sentence without stumbling over his own tongue. You want to know why? Because he has no confidence. You want to know why he has no confidence? Because he was raised by his whore mother. Not to say that all mothers that are single mothers are bad or anything of that nature. I can come up with a whole bunch of, scenarios where, hey, single mothers have produced great children. I mean, Puff Daddy, believe it or not, was raised by a single mother that stepped her game up. So there are those scenarios. But look, Puff Daddy doesn't sound like he's, playing the skin flute, if you understand what I'm talking about. It doesn't. I mean, to me, I don't think that Puff Daddy is toe tapping. As a matter of fact, I mean, he's tapping. Was it 4 or 5 years ago? He was tapping J-Lo ass. You know what I mean? I mean, you think that this kid that was just on here, you think he's ever going to tap any kind of tail that anybody's going to be proud of? I mean, he doesn't have an old man, so his old man's not going to be like, hey son, I mean, I know that you're hooking up with this chick. I mean, hopefully, she can suck the damn, golf ball off of, 50 feet of garden hose or something because, she's just butt ugly, son. What the hell's going on? You see, you don't have that. You have a mammy that's going to convince you that some disgusting, pathetic, dwarf-looking, elephant man-looking face broad is something that, is cherished and should be in the bag for you. What more do you have to say there, Milky Liquor? What do you have to say?
Am I on?
Yeah, you're
Am I fucking on, motherfucker? Okay, good. I wanted to ask you what you thought about the motherfucking game.
Are you kidding me?
I'm fucking kidding you. What do you think about
Jesus
Full
Christ.
Metal Jacket?
You know what I think about this call?
It's a good fucking movie.
You know what I think about this call? I'll tell you what I think about this call. All right? Major fail. Major fail. All right? Major fail. Seriously, your mother should have her uterus literally taken from her, and your father should be severely beaten with an Acme brick in the groin region to make sure that nothing like you ever pops out of any living organism again. Do you understand? I mean, do you understand, son, that we have way too many people like you, that you were just an insignificant piece of garbage? Oh, why'd you hang up, man? I mean, I want to talk to you here. I mean, you have to know that if you die tomorrow, your parents would probably breathe a sigh of relief, even though they're going to milk the emotional juice. They're gonna cry. They're gonna want all the hugs from the family. They're gonna be like, "Oh, he was my boy," and they're gonna be doing all that. But deep inside, they're gonna be like, "Man, I'm glad I got rid of this dumb piece of crap. What was this guy going to accomplish, for Christ's sake? This kid can't even express himself. He can't even conjure up what's in his mind, for Christ's sake, without being, some kind of half-witted fruit bowl. I mean, give me a break, Give me a damn break. I mean, seriously, man. I mean, you know that, right? 541, you know that, when you croak, your parents are going to be like, oh, finally, yeah. Don't have to take care of this bratting kid. Forget about $40,000 in college. I'm going to Hawaii, baby. You got to know that, right? 541. You got to know it, right?
I know that, but are you fucking mad, bro? You mad?
No, I'm not mad.
Are you mad? You're mad.
Don't tell me you're one of these 4chaners. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, horrible. Anyway, we got your number. We'll call you back when you least expect it. All right, pal? Anyway, 646-652-4869 is the number to call. Before we got, interrupted by that disgusting piece of, waste of human life, we were talking about how Libya is now being patrolled by Predator drones, American Predator drones. And, of course, America is flipping the bill for this, courtesy of the American taxpayer. And, it's just unfortunate, yet again, how we've been bamboozled to be raped of our tax dollars. Everybody on the Beltway, everybody in Washington's talking about cut spending, cut this, cut that. How about stopping these stupid wars, assholes? I mean, the only reason we should be staying in Iraq is if Iraq starts giving us oil pro bono, we start cutting it off the $1.5 trillion tab that they've accumulated with us. And, then we'll go ahead and keep troops there and make sure that civil order, is maintained, whatever. Afghanistan, I don't know why we're in Afghanistan, okay? Afghanistan is a complete and utter joke. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you folks. These people don't want modernity, all right? These people are living in the 12th century, and they love it, all right? They don't want to have anything to do with, modernity whatsoever. We've been in that country 10 years. We've been trying to, modernize these people through central planning, right? They're trying to utilize the military. Instead of going out there fighting wars, they're utilizing the military to build their sewer systems and, infrastructure, for Christ's sake, and that hasn't gone anywhere. These people want to live in the 15th century. Why the hell we're out there is beyond me. Why can't we just, send Predator drones without being there? How about that? How about we just send the Predator drones in there without sending our young men and women to go out there and die, for Christ's sake? How about that? I mean, seriously. Jesus Christ. Anyway, we're 5 minutes into the third hour of the True Capitalist Radio Show. Of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. We're going to go on and move to another subject matter. The citizens of Japan, folks, are coming out vocal as of late, and they're scorning all the foreigners that left the island of Japan, that left the country of Japan after the earthquake, tsunami, and, of course, after the nuclear situation that they had in Fukushima. They're scorning all the foreigners, saying, how dare you come to our country and you use us to make a living, and then when we need you, you bail on us. Taking a stance against foreigners that live there and are not sticking out the hard times with them. Well, with all due respect, to the Japanese people, all right. With all due respect to the Japanese people, your government, man. Your government is completely ridiculous. They're telling you one thing and doing the complete opposite. You understand? I mean, this nuclear fallout, this exposure of plutonium, this exposure of uranium, and all this other nuclear crap is a international situation. And yet we have the Japanese government just telling the Japanese people that everything's okay, even though there's radiation in the water, radiation in the food. Oh, no, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Just don't feed your small children. Yeah, that's reassuring, huh? I mean, this government, instead of acting like a government and being on top of things and being public servants and trying to protect the people, it looks like they're trying to protect their asses is what they're trying to do. The government looks like they're trying to protect their asses. And, you really can't blame the, foreigners that are leaving the Japanese people, because this government of Japan sucks. It utterly sucks, man. I mean, I hate to say that. I mean, Japan was the third largest economy in the world. I don't think it's going to ever come back to that after this, horrific devastation, man. I mean, believe it or not, they would have been able to bounce back after the tsunami and earthquake. But this radioactive fallout is just unbelievable. It's unprecedented proportions, and it's scary. And for the Japanese people to be scorning foreigners for leaving the country of Japan is just not right, I mean, it's just not right. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, your government is not telling us the truth, all right? They're not. And, instead of actually keeping the population of Japan informed, they're continuing on with that ridiculous programming of these game shows where they, kick people in the ass and, throw pies in their face and all that other crap. You know what I mean? They're not even informing the people about this, danger here. And I think that the Japanese people should be focusing their attention and anger and their frustration at that, not at foreigners leaving, trying to protect themselves from radioactive fallout. They should be focusing on the fact that their government is an incompetent bunch of pricks. And that's what they should be doing, They should be sticking Ginsu knife up their, government's asses for allowing themselves to be exposed to radioactive material. I mean, and exposed in mass quantities. I mean, only now are we finally starting to, hear some kind of inkling from the Japanese government of containing this situation. We should have been containing it from day one. Right when it started leaking, we should have started containing this thing, but we didn't. We allowed Japan to do it, and they just kind of, let it go by the wayside and just, tried to keep it running. I don't know what the hell they were trying to do. But now, not only did they expose the whole entire world to radioactive debris in the air, but they have dumped, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of gallons of radioactive water into the Pacific Ocean. And let me tell you something right now. I mean, you don't think that is going to have an implication on, potential marine life that's in the Pacific Ocean? You know what I'm saying? You don't think that, dumping radioactive water in the Pacific is going to, have some mutated crabs and, some freaky-looking fish and, gigantic sharks and, I mean, who the hell knows? Remember, that's how Godzilla was created in the movie. You know what I mean? That's how Godzilla was created, for Christ's sake. Some radioactive monster at the bottom of the sea, for Christ's sake. I mean, who the hell knows? We don't know. That's what comic books are made from. Remember, how all these comic book characters get their, magical powers and their superhuman powers by getting exposed to large amounts of quantities of radioactive goo and radioactivity. I mean, does everybody not remember this? And yet, we have not only the Japanese government doing this, but we have the international community and its stupid bureaucratic institutions like UN and NATO telling us, don't worry about it, mate. It's going to be all right. All the radioactivity is just going to dissolute in the water. All right? Don't worry about it. It'll be great. All right? Go eat some crab meat tomorrow. All right? Everything's going to be all right, mate. Yeah, right. Are you kidding me? I'm living over here in Texas. I mean, it's bad enough that I've got oil deposits in the middle of my shrimp cocktail, for Christ's sake. Now I've got to worry about, some kind of radioactive fish or radioactive seafood, for Christ's sake. I got to worry about if I'm going to go to the damn seafood joint and after I eat I'm going to glow in the fucking dark. I mean, Jesus Christ. And excuse me for cursing, for Christ's sake, but man, I mean, this is getting serious out here. I mean, is it just me, or is it bother anybody else out there that Japan and the Japanese government are dumping hundreds of thousands of gallons of radioactive water into the Pacific Ocean? I mean, is it just me? Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, I got to take a beer. I got to drink a beer on that note, for Christ's sake. Are you kidding me? I mean, radioactive fish and Godzilla coming out of the sea on the next Geraldo, huh? Jesus Christ. Let me take a drink. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. Anyway, 646-652-4869. Before I got off on that tirade, we were talking about how the Japanese citizens are now scorning foreigners for leaving Japan during their time of unrest, the time of basically nuclear fallout, the nuclear disaster. That's what they're really pissed off about, They're pissed off about the nuclear disaster and how everybody just kind of left. I mean, they're mad at the fact that the foreigners came in and they made lots of money in their country, and now that they need them the most, they're out of there. And I'm telling the Japanese citizens they should be venting that frustration at their government. Anyway, let's move on to another subject matter, because let me tell you, that Japanese situation really pisses me off. I can't believe that, they're just allowing these damn Japanese. I mean, isn't this what the United Nations and NATO and all these bureaucratic international institutions were made for, to prevent threats to the international community? I mean, I don't know what a bigger threat is in the international community than radioactive material going into the air, radioactive water being dumped in the Pacific Ocean at thousands and hundreds of thousands of gallons at a time. I don't know what is a better and a bigger international situation. But yet we have allowed, or not we, but the stupid, dumb, bureaucratic institution of the United Nations has just allowed the Japanese government to play pussyfoot with this goddamn radioactivity. And I'm telling you right now, folks, I mean, I would not be surprised. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I would not be goddamn surprised to see Godzilla come out of the goddamn Pacific Pacific Ocean and start getting pissed off at everybody. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, hundreds of thousands of gallons of nuclear radioactive water, for Christ's sake. Give me a break. It makes me sick to my stomach, and the Japanese people are pissed off at the foreigners. Why don't you get pissed off at your useless government, all right? It's ridiculous. Anyway, 646-652-4869 is the number to call. I want to hear from you. I'm going to move on to another subject matter. The CDC, the Center for Disease Control, predicts, in the latest article, they predict that nationwide, they are going to have a smoking ban nationwide by 2020. So all you folks that can still smoke in a public arena like a bar or a restaurant, take advantage while you can, because I live out here in Austin, Texas, man. You cannot go into a bar and smoke unless it's a rooftop bar, which makes it kick ass. I like rooftop bars. I'll be perfectly honest with you. But you better take advantage, because this whole idea of, turning everybody healthy and like, oh, we got to take care of people and well, why don't we talk about what exactly is making us sick when it comes to these, smoking instruments? Let's talk about all the garbage they're putting into the cigarette itself. I mean, I'm a cigar smoker myself, folks, and cigars, let me tell you how they're made. They take the tobacco, they harvest it, they make sure they cure it, they dry it up, and they roll it. They hand roll it. Now, there's no special additives. There's no formaldehyde or carcinogens or, all that other crap that they put onto cigarettes. There's not all that crap. No. It's just regular tobacco leaf, with a wrapper made out of a natural-based, grown from the earth type of a leaf. I'm not joking. All right? Now, people that are sitting here being critical of smoking in general, they're being critical of cigarettes, all right? Consumer-based cigarettes that are purposely designed with all kinds of chemicals to make you addicted. I find it funny that the cigarette companies have been able to get away with so much for so long, and yet, they regulate the United States. I mean, they're so anal retentive about regulation now that you can't even manufacture a toy in America without going through a rigorous government federal test that could cost you $1 million in, passing, because you have to, go through all this nonsense. I mean, it's disgusting, and yet, the cigarette companies continue to pump out this poison, because that's what it is. It's poison, it causes unbelievably disgusting disorders. All right? I mean, people have been smoking for years. I don't want to hear this. When Christopher Columbus hit what he thought was the West Indies, or what he thought was the East Indies, which ended up becoming the West Indies, which is, Hispaniola, the first thing he wrote in his memoirs that the tribes that came up to him had smoking heads. That's what he described it as, smoking heads. So people have been smoking for long periods of time. All right, not to say that it does wonders for the cardiovascular, but it's only until recently do we see these, really harsh, disgusting, mass amounts of lung cancer. And in my view, I think it has to do with all the garbage that they have thrown into these damn cigarettes. Now they're trying to make it to where in 2020, according to the CDC, that they want a nationwide smoking ban. And now what? Well, we're not going to be able to smoke anything? Is that it? Is it we're just, you cannot set anything on fire and breathe it in. It's against American law. I mean, is this the way it's supposed to be? Is this what freedom is, for Christ's sake? I mean, good God, man. I mean, why doesn't the American government get to the root of the problem? And that's the whatever the hell they're throwing in cigarettes that's killing people, making people drop dead, for Christ's sake. All right? I mean, I smoke cigars, okay? I smoke $25, $30 a stick cigars, all right? Nice, beautiful, just natural, well-humidified cigars. I'm talking about Opus X. I'm talking about VSGs. I'm talking about Davidoffs. You understand? I'm talking about, hand-rolled cigars. I love them. And, to sit here and say that you can compare a hand-rolled cigar to a cigarette that's manufactured to make sure that whoever's consuming it is going to be addicted. It's just two different things, for Christ's sake. You know what I mean? It's just horrible. Anyway, that's the latest out of the CDC. They're predicting by 2020 it's going to be a nationwide smoking ban, for Christ's sake. And I'm not necessarily looking forward to that. Just where am I going to puff my cigar? You know? Oh yeah, and not to mention, where are all the dopers in California and Colorado and wherever the hell else they've legalized marijuana for medical use? Where the hell are they going to smoke that, huh? Well, what are they going to force these people to take anal suppositories of marijuana concentrate or something? That's all I'm saying. Good Lord. 646-652-4869 is the number to call. I'll move on to another subject matter. Today, folks, I like anybody gives two rats' asses about this primitive, disgusting, feudalistic crap. But since it's made mainstream media, I guess we should talk about it. The Queen, oh yes, the Queen, oh, God save the Queen, oh yes, oh look, she's the longest feudalistic power ever, oh yes. Anyway, the Queen has turned 85 years old today. 85 years old, for Christ's sake, And, there's been some talks that Charles over here, old big-eared Charles, is a little pissed off that, it doesn't look like this bitch is going to die. It doesn't look like she's going to croak anytime soon, because y'all remember the Queen Mum, right? Y'all remember the Queen Mum? That broad lived to be, 110 or something? I mean, Jesus Christ, she's got Jesus Christ's pager number. She's so freaking old, for Christ's sake. You know what I mean? Seriously, and then she finally croaked. So here you've got an 85-year-old Queen Elizabeth, and let me tell you something. If she's going to be anything like her Queen Mum, she's going to live to be about 100-something years old. So it looks like Prince Charles, may not be king, huh? And what's really sad is that if the Queen does die, all right, let's say she does eat a bad fish and chips or something, and then takes a dirt nap. Well, not only does Charles become king, but that disgusting old horse-faced leather bag, Camilla Parker Bowles, actually becomes queen, believe it or not. Huh? Can you believe that? Oh, my God. She actually becomes queen. So this is why I'm saying to all my brethren out there in the UK, and all my fans out there in England, please, this April 29th, when you've got, this royal wedding and all this stuff, please do something and show your opposition to this old primitive feudalistic idea, all right, because it's stupid, all right? It's utterly stupid. And if anybody says, oh, Ghost, you don't know what you're talking about, well, the reason that we follow a queen is because of tradition. Oh, yes, this family's been in a tradition for a long time. No, they haven't. Do you all not remember in your own history that when y'all beheaded, y'all actually were beheading crazy at that time, but y'all beheaded Philip II, that there was no lineage after Philip II, for Christ's sake? None whatsoever. Lord Cromwell takes control of the damn crown. He realizes, oh, this is a little bit hotter than I expected. I don't like this, and basically implemented the crown back, supposedly giving more authority to the Parliament, and that is true. There is more authority to the Parliament, but why did they bring back the crown? I just don't get it, man. I don't get it. It is a dumb, ridiculous idea. We've got to literally get rid of all these monarchs that are in power today, no matter what. I'm not just talking about England. I'm talking about all of them. It is a stupid, feudalistic idea. Did you know that when these idiots were in power, the monarchs and the religious institutionalists, that for 1,000 years, humanity laid complacent because basically the feudalists had a 1,000-year party, Marie Antoinette parties and gatherings and indulgences and royalty, balls and all this other for 1,000 years. All right, 1,000 years. And then once the Enlightenment movement took forth in the 1700s, and the nobility started saying, hey, why do we even need to acknowledge these feudalistic, fat, pompous-ass bastards anymore anyway? I mean, why exactly do we need to do this? And that's why you had, in the 1700s, these monarchs falling down like wildfire. You understand what I'm saying? And let me tell you something right now. I personally believe that this stupid royal family should be absolved of its royal duties, all right? And all the English people have to do is tell Parliament, say, hey, your services as mooching our country are no longer needed, you useless, primitive, feudalistic monarchs. Now you can go in exile and see how you do in regular life, like all of us have to do, you ungrateful, stupid, feudalistic, nepotistic, monarchic assholes. All right, how about that? How about you deal with what everybody else has to deal with, monarchs? There's something important about these people. These people don't even have the lineage to the original monarch, man. I mean, they don't even have the original lineage, for Christ's sake. These idiots are from Bavaria. I mean, they're from some, great-great-granddaughter that was given away by, I don't know, Arthur or somebody. I mean, this is not even the original bloodline. You know what I'm saying? I mean, give me a break. Jesus Christ. I mean, you got these pompous-ass royals out here, these disgusting, sour-scowled royals in England, actually walking around as if they have lineage directly related to Charlemagne or something. You're not related to Charlemagne. You're a bunch of morons. So give me a break. I'm sorry. I don't care about the Queen Mum, all right? I don't care about the Queen Mum, all right? And let me tell you something else. I don't care about the royal wedding either, okay? I don't care that these two pompous asses that have had everybody wiping their ass ever since they were shitted out of the womb, I don't have any compassion or any kind of royalty. You notice it's all the chicks that are digging this crap. You notice that? It's that whole idea of,
oh, I gotta be saved by Prince Charming so he can take me away and do everything for me and buy me everything and give me my own castle and give me my own and meh. It's that whole garbage, man. That's what's pumping this stupid English pomp. You know what I mean? And truth be told, the English don't want to have anything to do with this damn royal family. I saw that, when Camilla and Prince Charles took the wrong route to that little stupid theater or whatever the hell they were doing that night, and you had them English people throwing shit at their car, and a dumb Camilla looking scared crapless, and you heard them English people, off with their heads! I mean, I'm not laughing that they wanted to take off their heads or anything, but I mean, when I heard those assholes chanting that while Camilla and Prince Charles were cruising the streets of London or something, I could only imagine when the English executed James II, they executed Philip II. When they were executing these kings, I could just imagine these Englishmen, they're all filled with piss and fury, after eating, overloaded with fish and chips, and they're like, off with their heads! That's what we need to do, off with their heads! You know what I'm saying? Oh, Jesus Christ, that's funny, man. Oh, my God. And let me tell you, did you see Camilla and her old horse face ass in that car, for Christ's sake? Like, oh my God, Charles, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up for this. You stupid, dumb broad. What, like England was going to accept your old, wrinkled up ass, for Christ's sake? You're an ugly horse-faced bimbo that is literally missing all of her back teeth. I mean, is it just me, or does anybody know this? That this bitch is missing all of her back teeth? I mean, how is this bitch eating? Is she gumming her fish and chips? Huh? Is she putting all that crap in a blender and then sucking it down like a goddamn milkshake or something? Can somebody explain this to me? Jesus Christ, man. I mean, I can only imagine oral copulation with this bimbo, for Christ's sake. Jeez.
Jesus Christ. I don't even want to talk about it. You know what I mean? Anyway, 646-652-4869 is the number to call. I want to hear from you. We're talking about the Queen. Oh, yes, it's the Queen. She's 85 years old. Oh, yes. And you know how she celebrated it? She's going to give 85 men and 85 women some stupid little coin or something, and, you know, I don't know, do some kind of jerk-off motion with her hands, and everybody's supposed to cream out their pants or something. I don't know. Anyway, 646-652-4869 is the number to call. I want to hear from you. What do you think about the Queen? What do you think about all this, this ridiculous royal pomp of this ridiculous wedding? I want to hear from you. All right? 111, you're on the air. Area code 1. Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, I agree with the previous caller. You definitely do sound like a faggot.
Well, you know, maybe if you had a internet connection other than a 14.4K modem, we would have been able to hear your little fruity-ass, flimsy-ass voice. I mean, you know, you came in all kind of staticky because, you know, you're chatting on your little 486SX that you got from the, swap meet, and, you're not able to, get the amount of computing power necessary to bring the voice packets up to here. So you want to try again? Let's try again. You got it straight now there, boy? Are you there, boy? Yeah, that's right. How are you out? Yeah, shut up. Just get him off. Get him off! I mean, this is the kind of crap I'm getting over here. You know what I'm saying? These stupid asshole kids, for Christ's sake. You know what I mean? I mean, this imbecile. I mean, I would like to know. I mean, I got the number. You know what I mean? I'm going to try to do a reverse trace and see if I can find out who this kid's mother is. Because I think that this kid's mother needs to be bitch slapped. You know what I'm saying? I mean, backhanded. I mean, conjuring up the spirit of Ike Turner and making my pimp hand strong, or somebody's pimp hand strong, on this stupid skankosaurus who literally shitted out this piece of garbage out of her uterus pipe. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, and this is the same asshole from 541. You know, I know it is. He's just using his computer to call in and sounding even more fruitier than his voice already is, for Christ's sake. You know what I'm saying? Give me a goddamn break. Anyway, 646-652-4869 is the number to call. Speaking of dumbass punks, yesterday, while we were celebrating 420 and kicking back and partaking in the festivities, 420 is actually not only Hitler's birthday, which he's probably, being anal raped by a pitchfork right now, saying, Los Logos Schliegen Schlagen Volkswagen! But also, it was the anniversary of the Columbine High School shootings here in America. And for all the folks that aren't familiar of what I'm talking about, what was it, in 1998, there was a couple of kids by the name of Eric Harris and Derek Klebold that went into Columbine High School in Colorado and literally lit up the place and shot people that, they thought that were, assholes. You know what I'm saying? And what's really unfortunate is that, we've kind of lost track of why that's happening. We kind of lost track of why exactly a child or a teenager would be motivated with such vengeance and hatred to go out and, just start killing people in their high school. Well, I'll tell you why. It's this disgusting social landscape that's made in school. You understand that? The disgusting social landscape in school where, these kids are all gathering around these little cliques, the gangster crowd, the jock crowd, the whore crowd, the Poe crowd. And in the midst of these little cliques, the social pipeline that entails popularity and entails social success are all the things that are being pumped in MTV, are all the things that are being pumped in Hollywood. These disgusting, sexual, deviant, violent, immature, pathetic, ridiculous ideas. I mean, can you believe that you still got people doing jackass stunts and putting it on YouTube? I mean, haven't you noticed this epidemic of kids, smashing foreign objects into their nutsack? And they actually think this is funny. They actually think this is winning brownie points. I mean, just do a damn YouTube search of nutsack shots and just count how many different young gentlemen are allowing their friends to hit them in the junk with everything from, their foot to, large pieces of furniture, for Christ's sake. You know what I mean? I just can't believe it. I don't know. What do you think? 646-652-4869. We got 612 on the line. What's going on?
Ghost Couple. How's it going, buddy?
What's going on, man?
You're absolutely right about YouTube. You go on there, a bunch of punks. That last caller, Ghost, he's probably living downstairs at his mom's house, pulling the goalie. But did you have a good 420?
Yeah, well, I exposed myself for the second time in my life to tetrahydrocannabinol yesterday, and I did review the show. I did, sound like a proverbial high jackass, so, we're not going to do that too often anymore. And not to mention that not only was I partaking in 420 festivities yesterday, but I was also drinking, and I think the mixture of the two intoxicants made me puke up something mad, for Christ's sake. I look like that bitch from The Exorcist. I just needed my head to be rotating, and, I'd be down there. I mean, you'd have a priest up in here with holy water and crap.
Well, once in a while, you got to, you let your hair down, pull the bong out. But, kind of off topic, I called into your show about a couple months ago, and, the oil is getting up there. And, it's all, I've talked about this for years on people that deal with the golf course are wealthy, and there's plenty of gas out there, but it's the damn speculators out there that continue to speculate on the gas out there. What's your opinion on that? I mean, there's plenty of fuel out there. There's plenty of fuel out there to harvest. What do you think about that?
No, I believe that there is plenty of fuel, but the supply lines are getting threatened. I mean, first of all, some of the ports that were used to having oil shipped out of Libya are no longer available, and if they are, they're available at like minimal capacity at best. Secondly, we've got pirates now. This whole pirate problem, I don't know if you've been looking at the news, but pirates are now taking control of defense ships from countries. I mean, I think, some kind of warship from Korea got hijacked by these pirates. And, it's getting pretty dangerous. So you've got that aspect. You've got the aspect of the refinery systems. You've got, a whole bunch of different things that are driving up the cost of petroleum, not to mention, emerging markets and demand. China is increasing its imports of oil, and it's increasing its demand for oil, not to mention all the other emerging markets. So I know that Obama is trying to put it out that they're going to do an investigation. He's going to go to another special counsel to try to see if there was any nefarious activities happening with this oil price, but I don't think so. I mean, I think that, the price is the way it is because, for a lack of a better term, the American government sucks. And instead of actually going out and figuring out how to fix this problem, they're just creating more wars in the Middle East, which is where we get 80% of the oil in the world anyway. Just go ahead and causing wars and causing disorder, causing chaos, and this is what's causing the disruption in the supply lines. So I can see why the amount of money for a barrel of oil is up. The only way we can bring it down, man, is if we have this damn government of ours take its head out of its bureaucratic ass and force Iraq, which is the second largest oil deposit in the world, force these assholes to give us oil pro bono. We knock it off the $1.5 trillion tab that they have accumulated from us liberating their asses, and that would artificially bring down the cost of oil to at least, I would say, $60, $70. But is our country doing that? Is anybody, talking about that except for Donald Trump? And everybody thinks Donald Trump's a sideshow. But I think that's a valid point. I've been talking about that since I started this program, that we should be forcing the Iraqi parliament to, pay us, because they're selling this oil in the world market, and they've got, $5-6 billion surplus, $10 billion surplus. They've got a surplus. They are a non-debt society. And all they need is to get that civil order in check, and they can become one of the richest nations in the world here in the next 30 years, believe it or not.
I agree. They have some of the top oil fields have yet to be tapped out there. And these ships that goes, they should start getting armed guards on there. That's what they should start doing. And on a side point here, we did have on our security business, we a profit of $100,000. And I was just curious, on a serious note, what would be something to put that into? You think would be good to put in an emerging market? What do you think we would invest it in on $100,000? What do you think would be a good investment?
In an emerging market or a stock
stock or stock? What do you think? I'm serious. I have $100,000 that we'd earned after taxes on a security job. We were just me and my uncle, who I call Rugburn. We were thinking of getting the $100,000 into it. What do you think? What would be good for a long-term investment?
Good long-term investment is, some of these blue chips that are taking a hit out here. Dell Computer, I keep reiterating that one. That one's a pretty good, investment for not only short-term but long-term. I've suggested a couple of small caps that I don't necessarily want to promote on this program because, this program is basically for long-term, day trader type investments of blue chips and basically riding the waves of the market. On capitalistarmy.com is where I, get some of these gems where, put some small caps out there so people can research and possibly partake in. And to be honest with you, a lot of those small caps that I have been mentioning on there are great long-term investments on the cheap. I mean, you could literally, with that $100,000, invest in a good chunk of those stocks, and as they go up and up, you can make some serious capital, on a small cap stock that could potentially go up a tremendous amount, $2, $3, $4, $5.
All right. Well, I appreciate you keep those punks off your show. Keep up the good work, and we'll listen to you later. Have a good afternoon.
Thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate it, Capote. That's Capote there, or Capote, Cowpote. And I want to thank him for calling up. 646-652-4869. We were talking a little bit about Columbine and how yesterday was the anniversary of the Columbine shootings. And, once again, I would like to reiterate why kids are partaking or even entertaining this as a viable option. Because, first of all, Mommy and Daddy don't give a crap, all right? And that's another thing. How come Eric Harris and Derek Klebold's parents weren't prosecuted? Can somebody explain that one to me? Seriously, why weren't these parents prosecuted? And they claimed, we didn't know. We didn't know they were in there with the, automatic machine guns and bombs and blueprints and no, we didn't know. This is what I'm talking about, folks. The parents are no longer involved with the children. All right, the children are going out and they're becoming, first of all, they're getting more stupid, and secondly, they're being exposed to all these complicated scenarios, and they're embracing it in such a simplistic fashion. It's disgusting. It's horrible. But this is America, isn't it? Oh, isn't that great? Oh, yeah, it's so great. Jesus Christ. Anyway, let's take some more calls, shall we? 000, you're on the air.
Hello?
Yeah, you sound like that fruit bowl that called up earlier. You sound too fruity to be on the show. Go out there, spend some time with your father. Go out there, go fishing, go hunting, go do something with him, and then call back with a little bit more manlier of a voice, all right? All right, sound like you got some bass in your voice, for Christ's sake. Stop sounding like you just got your nuts chopped off. You know what I mean? And you're like, in a 16th century soprano or some crap. You know what I mean? Anyway, 408, you're on the air.
Yo, Ghost, what's up? It's Goofy Bone.
What up, man? It's Goofy Bone now. Just give her a bone. Yeah. What's going on, man?
Hey, man, I wanted to talk about the Columbine parents. Long time ago, when I was 16 years old, I beat up some guy and I broke his jaw. And since I was 16, my parents were liable for all the charges of his medical bills and all that stuff. Why didn't the parents?
Are you kidding me?
I'm serious. $16,000 my parents had to pay because this guy thought he could steal my bike, so I busted his jaw open, but apparently I took it all off when I hit him. But $16,000 my mom and dad had to pay, and how come the parents over there did not get? Because once you're under the age of 18, the parents are responsible regardless of anything.
They should
be. What I'm saying? And these parents, how could you not know your kid is this much of a loser to where he's going to go out and kill people? Because that's what people are when they do this. They're losers. Have nothing more to do in life. They're
losers is right. They're a waste of human life, and the whole reason why they've resorted to just making their lives insignificant so that they can go out and shoot people and then kill themselves is because, let's be honest, they come to the end of their rope. They're losers. They can't get laid. That's why the guys that Eric Harris and Derek Klebold. It was reported that these guys were in the shower giving each other anal exams with their prostate parts. And this is why they were virgins. They weren't getting laid. They had to play with each other's wee. Nobody was giving them any kind of attention, and the only people that were giving them attention are these neurotic nutcases that think that Marilyn Manson's talking to them. This kind of crap. And this is what you have here. And of course the parents aren't involved with the kids anymore. I mean, parents involved with kids is like telling somebody, hey. Why don't you go ahead and light your farts on fire and see how big of a flame you got? It's like, what? I mean, nobody wants to take care of their kids anymore. Everybody wants to just sit back and dump them off in from some kind of illegal some kind of a violent video game or a boob tube or some kind of electronic widget, and that is raising our children right now. That is what's raising our children.
Exactly, Ghost, and it's terrible. These parents think that they treat the kids like animals, like dogs, thinking that they could just give them a treat and they're satisfied. And lo and behold, you got a kid over here plotting one of the worst massacres in human history. You know what I mean?
And
it's like
no accountability from these parents, man. No accountability. As a matter of fact, if there's any hackers out there that are listening in, man, it would be gangster if you could get Eric Harris or Derek Klebold's parents' phone number, and I would love to call these people and get them on the horn and figure out, hey, what the hell, first of all, is your problem, and secondly, do you have no shame, you disgusting piece of crap, is what I'd like to say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Ghost, and another thing I wanted to talk about. Obama was in my neck of the woods today. And because
he's in the West Coast, man. It's his West Coast tour. West Side! Yeah.
Because of that piece of shit, I was stuck in traffic for 2 hours because they shut down the freeway so he could just mosey on down and just take a nice little cruise. He was going 30 miles an hour down the freeway, just cruising in the limo. And, I got videotape of it. Not of him going by, but of the traffic, and I'm going to post that on CapitalistArmy.com, and yeah.
Yeah, man, post it up, man. I mean, let's see what they're doing out there. Our government, or actually, it's not even a real government official visit for the president. He's stumping for his 2012 election. Meanwhile, we got a economy going down the tubes. We're in 4 theaters of combat. We've got international disorder everywhere. We've got, people talking about cutting. We got people talking about taxing. And this guy's just like, yeah, baby, don't worry about it. I'm going back to Cali. I'm going back to Cali. I mean, give me a break, man.
Yeah, and I feel you on that, Ghost. But anyways, Ghost, you have a nice day. And I hope you had a good 420 because I did, Ghost. And,
all right, man, I did, yeah. Well, I mean, besides the puking session later on in the evening, but it was all right.
Hey, well, Ghost, it happens, you know what I mean? It's like sometimes when a girl goes down on you, and sometimes that gagging reflex kind of brings up some stuff, too, so that type of stuff just happens, you know what I mean?
Oh, man, I hope it doesn't happen to me. It hasn't happened to me. It's the last thing I need, I'm in the midst of doing the horizontal mambo and having some broad regurgitate, her ham and cheese sandwich that she had. I mean, that's not something that can keep the noodle, stiff, if you will. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it would definitely keep the noodle wet, though. I'll tell you that for damn sure.
No, man, that's gross, man. That's gross. Anyway, Goofy, thanks for calling, man.
Yeah, have a good one, Ghost.
All right, man. Hey, and we look forward to seeing that footage on CapitalistArmy.com. So, yeah, man, make sure to put it on there. And as a matter of fact, that everybody that's listening, please go to CapitalistArmy.com, www.CapitalistArmy.com. It is a social networking site exclusively for true capitalists. So, by all means, and not to mention, folks, follow me on Twitter, folks. I mean, I like to think that I'm kind of amusing sometimes when I throw out a few of these tweets, and I tweet directly at assholes, too, try to get a response from them. Follow me on Twitter, and whenever I, tweet out some of these things, tweet out some of these insults to some of these supposed celebrities and political figures, if you could be so kind and retweet those motherfuckers, excuse my French, but retweet them, you know what I mean, so I can get around, you know what I mean? Whenever I tweet at somebody, like I tweeted at Whale Ghanem today, I also tweeted at, who the hell said, I tweeted all kinds of people, insulting the hell out of them. Just give me a quick retweet on those so that we can make sure that that son of a bitch, whoever is the person that I am tweeting against, can read it and make sure that it's getting around, all right? I mean, please, all right? If you could just do that for me, that'd be great, because I love, telling these disgusting waste of human flesh that think they're so much on top of the world. I like to put them in their place. I like to cut them down lower than a leprechaun's nutsack. And what I need from you is I need for you to follow me on Twitter. Ghost Politics is the name to follow, folks. All right, Ghost Politics, right there. Here it is. Ghost Politics on Twitter. Follow me up, and whenever I, have a nice tweet going on, and whenever I'm insulting somebody, please retweet the tweet, all right? And I'll give you some props. Believe me, I'll make sure to be on the lookout for all those that are retweeting the tweets, man, all right? I mean, who knows? Who knows what'll happen? Anyway, let me go ahead and open up another beer here, folks. Oh, yeah, we're in effect in the house. We got 10 minutes left in the broadcast, folks. 10 minutes left before we took the call from Goofy Bone. We were talking about the Columbine anniversary yesterday. And once again, I want to tell everybody who's potentially being a victim of bullying or, agitation from social pipelines like school, I'd like for you all to remember that school doesn't last forever, okay? School doesn't last forever. And not to mention, if somebody's picking on your ass, why are you just going to sit there and take it, man? I mean, doesn't it feel better to take an ass whooping one time than sitting over there getting bitch slapped the whole entire existence of school? I don't understand this, man. I've never been one who is going to be continuously picked on, all right? The only reason people pick on you is because they sense that they can. They sense that you're weak. You're giving off an aura that is a weak aura, to say the least. So, why not, if they're going to come up to you and try to chest up to you, why not just give them a smack to their face, break their nose, break their jaw, do something, and, of course you may suffer some repercussions. I mean, let's not be stupid about it. You may suffer some legal repercussions and so on and so forth, but I guarantee you that little tough wannabe asshole will never mess with you again and, kind of stay out of your way. You know what I mean? And that's all people need is a good ass whooping. That's all it comes down to. Have y'all ever seen that show, Bully Beatdown? Y'all should check it out. That's one of the only programs that MTV puts out, although it's not that popular because it's not entailing some bimbo shitting at a kid at 15 or, some, slick back, greaseball Guido, saying, oh, hot tub, stuff like that. So it's a good program. It shows these bullies that are being confronted by an MMA fighter, and they have to agree to fight this MMA fighter. This bully, he has to put his money where his mouth is, and if he actually lasts in the ring, he actually wins money. And usually, not all the time, but usually they don't win any money because they get their asses handed to them by this MMA fighter. And, of course, the money goes to the person that they were bullying, the person that they were beating up. Now, I'm just saying, every time a bully gets their asses whooped on this program, they're humbled. You know what I mean? They're like, man, I didn't even know. I'm sorry, man. And they give whoever they're bullying a handshake, a hug. They give them respect. You want to know why? Because nobody likes fighting, all right? I know there's everybody that thinks they're the toughest dude in the world. Everybody's out there thinking, yeah, look at me, I got big bulls. Nobody wins in a fight, all right? Everybody hurts in some place or some fashion in a fight. And, instead of getting your ass picked on throughout the entire year, why not just, fight and make sure that you hurt this son of a bitch? Even though you're weaker, even though you know that he's stronger, even though whatever the case might be, you better make sure that that person remembers, so that the next time that person comes around and says, oh, yeah, and starts slapping you in the back of the head, they'll remember that time you gave them a good damn ass whooping. Anyway, let me get off the subject. We're talking a little bit about Donald Trump here. We got 5 minutes left in the broadcast. Let me tell you something about Donald Trump, man. I mean, he's saying some good things, but let's be honest. I mean, the pompous jerk-off attitude of Donald Trump is really starting to come about, reports came out that Jerry Seinfeld was supposed to partake in some kind of golf fundraiser for some charity event that Donald Trump's son was holding. And Jerry Seinfeld said, "Hey, I'm gonna cancel." So he cancels, and the reason that he gave for canceling was because he thinks that the whole birther crap. I mean, he disagrees with it, whatever. Anyway, instead of Donald Trump being the bigger man and saying, "Well, who cares?" and this guy actually puts out a statement and goes out of his way to disrespect Jerry Seinfeld as if it's some kind of a cut-down contest, like, your mama joke contest or something. You know what I mean? I mean, give me a break, Trump. I mean, this guy's really, his pompous attitude is really starting to piss me off. And not to mention, I didn't like the fact that Trump was saying the seniors are going to be safe with me. We should not be cutting Medicaid, Medicare. We should not be cutting Social Security. The seniors are okay with me. You piece of shit. All right, Trump, those are the people that are causing this problem. Do you understand that? They're the ones with the wealth. They're hoarding the wealth, and then they want to take the gains that these young people are making in this disgusting economic social landscape where there's no economic opportunity more. They want to take the beans and force these kids to pay Social Security and Medicaid and Medicare that they're never going to see in their entire lives. And you've got Trump out here saying, oh, yeah, the seniors are great. Oh, yeah, it's just unbelievable. They're the ones with all the wealth, you asshole. They don't need any help with Medicaid or Medicare. They don't need any help with Social Security. If anybody needs any help, it's the people that are under the age of 45 that are still working, that are still paying taxes, that are being taxed Social Security that they're never going to see, that are still being taxed Medicaid and Medicare where that they're never going to see as well. I mean, do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand? These young people are never going to see this, and yet these old generations, these baby boomers, are forcing these people, are forcing these young people to pay this. So, Trump, you're sitting over here talking all this garbage about Medicaid, Medicare, and, oh, yeah, I love the seniors, and this and that, and obviously, you don't know your ass from your elbow when it comes to business, Mr. Thousandaire, all right? Because you'll know as well as I know that it's these entitlements on top of all the wars that we're currently in America today is what's causing the depletion and the devaluing of the American dollar. So, why don't you go back to your little, what finance school does he always promote? Some makeshift finance school that ain't worth a shit. All right? Go back to that finance school and learn a little bit of something. All right, Trump? All right, learn that what's causing the problem are these baby boomers that want to be coddled from cradle to the grave, and they're literally selling out their children. They're selling out their great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren so they can have Social Security payments to pay for their Cadillacs that they got leased out, and Medicare payments to pay for their Postivac penis pumps and Viagra and hover-rounds so they can, roll around the goddamn shopping centers with a stupid dumbass little motor scooter and a basket in front of it. This is what we're paying for out here as the American taxpayer, and we're sick and tired of it. Anyway, folks, I'm out of here. We got 1 minute left in the broadcast. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. Please bookmark and actually join the website, www.capitalistarmy.com. It's free, totally free. It costs nothing. You just have to be a capitalist. www.capitalistarmy.com is the social network exclusively for capitalists. So spread that around like wildfire. Not to mention, folks, follow me on Twitter, folks, and don't be ashamed to follow me, all right? I mean, there's some people that follow me, all right, and then, I say a couple of bad tweets, and then, unfortunately they don't like me anymore, and then they stop following me. Here, there's the name to follow. Ghost Politics is the name to follow, all right? Don't be ashamed of me, man. Don't be ashamed of me, man. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. Tomorrow is Good Friday, and tomorrow is Baller Friday on top of that. So what I'm thinking about doing is having a nice, juicy T-bone steak and maybe eating it on the air to commemorate Good Friday and Baller Friday. You know what I'm saying, folks? Does that sound good? Yeah, nice, good, juicy steak going on. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm out of here. Long live the capitalist movement, all right? And remember, I'm here Monday through Friday, 4 to 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Spread it around, all right? Spread it around like wildfire. This show depends on you. This show depends on you, so retweet it. Go to the blogs. Go to the forums. Go to the tweets. Go out there and spread it around. Spread it around. Spread it around, for Christ's sake.
You've been listening to True Capitalist Radio. The thoughts, views, ideas, comments, and opinions of the host of this show are absolutely his. Catch more live episodes Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30 Central. Or check out archive shows at blogtalkradio.com. True Capitalist Radio.
That's it.
A Napa guy knows the only way you'd give a freshly minted driver a brand new car is if he promises to never drive it. Instead, let him grind the gears and knock over the neighbor's mailbox in something a little more suited to his skill level. And with over 400,000 parts and a little Napa know-how, he can safely drive something that's nearly as old as he is. It's not perfect, but it's perfect for him. That's Napa know-how.